This is Cas for the Nora, and you're watching the Chat with Chaps live show.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Midweek Live. This is the Chat with Chaps Live. I'm your host, Joe Zampa, and as always, I'm with my right-hand man, Disco Steve. How you doing, Disco? You good?
Yeah, really good. Thanks, Joe. Nice to be alongside you for a change. I'm normally underneath you this time of night on a Tuesday, but I'm alongside you today.
Yeah, exactly. Special one there tonight, Disco. Obviously, no Millwall with the international break at the moment, so we're doing something a little bit different. By public demand by our lovely listeners, they wanted a Millwall quiz, and we've done that. And we managed to bring in a former Millwall legend, the one and only Ronnie Ball. How you doing, Ronnie? You good?
How are we? Good evening, men. You're all good?
Yes, we're all good. How are you, mate? You good? How's things?
Yes. Oh, mate, can't complain. You know what I mean? Weather's changing. That's the main thing.
That's it. Exactly.
But, yeah.
Good stuff. Ron, so we've got loads of listeners in the chat at the moment. They're all building up. I can see them. We're up to 43 at the moment, which is really good. And I'm sure that'll go a lot higher as the show goes on. So there'll be lots of questions from the listeners. I hope you don't mind asking those questions for you.
No, fire away like with that. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, good stuff. Well, let's go straight to the chat. Number one, first through the door is Craig Jones. How you doing, Craig? Hope you're well. What a line tonight. Carl Bracey, evening. How you doing? Biggie, how are you, mate? Hope you're good. Good to have you on board, mate. Jeff, how are you? Hope you're good. You're right, Husey. Even more ball this week, then. Chris Brown, friend of the show. Evening, mate. How you doing? Jeff Chandler, good close friend of the show. Evening, mate. Good evening, boys. Methinks it's going to be a good one. Welcome, Ronnie.
Thank you.
Alex S, bang on time. Evening, gentlemen. How are you, mate? Gary Miles, evening, one and all. War Lion, good to see you, mate. Carl, it's been a long time since Millwall played. International break, it's so boring. Can't wait for the Serbia to come down to town. David, how are you, mate? Lions Raw, evening, gents. Bobby T, bully. Seriously, fucking good left back. Yeah, I can't disagree with you, mate. It was a good left back, left winger, centre mid, right back. We'll talk about that later on. But yeah, he's played a lot of positions. Carl Bracey, disco. Connor, evening, lads. Evening, boys. Here we go. Welcome, Ronnie. Alex S, disco and bully. What a time to be alive. Hello, Ronnie from Cole. Anyway, excellent. So, Ron, obviously, it's been a few years since we've been down in Dell. We worked it out the other day, didn't we? I think it's something like along of, is it 20 odd years or something since you last played for Millwall?
Yeah, I think it worked out when with the Sunderland game. And you think it was 2024. Yeah. It was so it's 24 years. 20 years ago when
last year. Yeah, got kicked out. No, it's good though. The thing is, you ain't changed one bit, mate, and you still look the same as you did 20 years ago. I don't know if that's a compliment now, or you look fucking old when you're younger. Either way, you haven't aged, mate. So yeah, good to see you, mate. Guys, in the chat, if you've got some questions, get them in the chat, and we'll make sure Ronnie asks those questions. So Ronnie, 50 appearances for Millwall. You joined the club. You made your debut in 1999. Featured in a few games for our first season. Tried to get into playoffs. We lost to Wigan in the semi-final playoffs, didn't we? If I remember rightly.
Yeah. I made seriously, Joe. There, I made my debut. Yeah, before that. Just before we played Wigan in the windscreen final.
That's right. Yeah, exactly.
When Millwall just took over Wembley.
99, is that right?
No, it was 98. I saw it was 98.
98, 99, I think it was that season, wasn't it?
And
that's it.
And Colchester. I made my debut alongside the great Rhino. You know what I mean? That was an absolute honour for me, like, because what a Millwall legend and a fantastic man around the club, you know, like. And even out of it now, boys still speak to him now. I know Joe Dolan's very close to him. And to make my debut, as well as with quite a few of the boys from the youth team, like when we come through that night, I know they were resting a few. And that whole season, I was mainly injured. I broke my ankle. and I'm just missed most of the whole of that season, and got back and made my debut. And it was fun, especially going to Wembley as well. It was fantastic for me, and as well as the club and the players, and the old Wembley.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, with the old Twin Towers, weren't they, and all that stuff. I mean, it was remarkable because that was a real transition, that was, wasn't it, Ron, back in those days? I don't know if you remember Disco, but we had got rid of the old brought all the youth in, all the youth players, likes of Ives and Reedy, and of course Ronnie and Joe Dolan we talked about, and Birch and a few others. And it was a real transition, but a real exciting one, wasn't it, Disco? Do you remember it, that era?
Absolutely, yeah. Quite a shy bunch, though, weren't you, Ronnie? Unfortunately, a bit more outgoing, all of you. You might a bit more confident.
You know what? I think it was even great for the older boys who were there to have youngsters kind of who were coming through, who knew the way the Millwall blood was, the way they put the way we played. And the likes of Rhino building the foundations. And I'll say there, Billy Bonds as well. He did give a lot. He gave Timmy his first go, Reedy, Birchie and all that. I know Birch was already in the team. But, like that, them players, Dolan and then Ives, I mean, I'm getting a bit slow now as you're getting older, you think back. And then when Rhino took it on, brought in Scass, one of the best goalkeepers featured for Millwall Football Club. And even Willie coming. That's what I mean. There was players there, Matty Lawrence. It just keeps going, and even that's what I said with the older player there, with the Nethercotts. He weren't that old, by the way, at 28. But you're playing with 18.
He's seen no comparison, didn't he?
Yeah, I'm sorry to say that, but for them lads, Sean Dyche coming in. You know what I mean? When probably could have said that was we went on and played for Watford after, but he had a great run to probably his end of his career, and you think, wow. It was fantastic. And then even going even there, Michael Gilks, he was great for me. Mark McGee brought him in. And then you got the old Cladger, who looks probably 29 now. Last night, what I see on a podcast. He's got better hairdo than anyone.
Is he?
Mate, it's unreal.
What's happened? He was on Under the Cosh, was he? Old Claridge.
Yes. Yeah, and we went round last night. We got a WhatsApp group, and boys, I just couldn't believe it. When he's Barnett's unreal. It was unreal. It's just fantastic.
Was it a turkey job?
Mine was good.
What? Is it a turkey job? What's happened?
Well, he had it done when he was manager of Salisbury, one of my old teams,
Really?
He had the old and McDonald sign filled in, the old wing backs.
The old wing backs.
So, man, he's got a proper mopper there.
My! I can't wait to see that now. I'll have to find that on YouTube. The old,
it's like Matty Lawrence now.
Matty's gone the other way. I see Matty with the other group.
Shaggy's not Shaggy. Shaggy's bald now. Shaggy's like Dr. Evil, and Clarence was the new Shaggy.
He is the new Shaggy, an older version.
An older version.
Unreal.
Brilliant. Right, let's go to the chat, boys. Very, very quick one. So, where are we? So, 81 all. Joe, am I right in saying that you scored one more goal at Den than Bully? That's true, actually. That's my only claim to fame. It's the only thing I've got over Bully at Millwall is that I've scored at Den, and Bully hasn't.
Did you come close, Ronnie? Did you come close at all to putting it in the back of the net?
Yeah, I've got. You know what? I had a really good season. It probably was. I ended up getting about 9 goals in the reserves, and then the following year, then I got in the team. I couldn't hit a barn door. I just. I remember Mark McGee having a right go at me. We played just in that, the run up to the playoffs, when we had the fantastic run, and we were playing Bradford, and we were 1-0 up, and I just always remembered, it just parted like the Red Sea. And I just took off from the halfway line, and I just went on a bit of a mazy. And then I got to the 18-yard box, and I thought, shall I shoot here or just square it to Sads? And I squared it to Sads, and I don't think he was ready for it. He stuck it wide. So I'm walking off. Now I should have shot. I'm walking off, all smiles and all that. I could see Mark McGee, he had the glasses, the eyes are popping out of the glasses, coming out of his ear. I'm thinking, we've really cemented ourselves in the playoffs. Because I'm thinking, we go 2-0 up, game's over. You know what I mean? Takes a lot of pressure as in defensively. You know what I mean? You think we're at home, we win 2-0, everyone's winning up. We end up winning 1-0. And I remember walking off. He start swearing, but he had me.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, he literally, what the fuck are you doing in front of the goal? He said, you pull the trigger. Oh, don't worry about him. Like, and he's had a go at him for missing. Like, he's like
yeah. What's Mark McGee like, Ronnie? Was he quite encouraging for you to play football? Was he quite like conservative, quite disciplined in how you express yourself on the pitch?
Yeah, you know what? And I always say he had the best of everything, taking that team over, going back from the Billy Bonds to Rhino and Macca there, and then having them boys who have had a little bit of experience for them couple of seasons together, and Ray Hartford, God rest his soul, he was there. Stevie Gritt, working with us in the youth, the reserves. And if someone weren't, like, as I say, if you weren't in the team getting it on, you come in the reserves, go straight back in the first team. So, like, it was just such a good place to be around in them days. And I only noticed that when you go and play for other clubs and things like that. But it was just fantastic for him. Like, Ray Hartford there, listen, Premier League coach, winner, manager, whatever, stroke to Kenny Dalglish. He just had the boat, and he loved the saying, controlled aggression. So work that out, as in, like, getting up and punching someone in the face. That ain't controlled aggression. When you pass the ball, the main thing when you're saying get your head over the ball, pass the ball with aggression. You mean the pass, you mean the cross, you mean to, like with Tony's, like Scass, like trying to save a ball, like head a ball. It was all controlled, and he was. And like, there were certain things what you've done in the game, you thought, oh, I've done well on that. He'd be like, not having a go at you, but get you after and say, like, no, you've got to do better like that. I was thinking, like no, I've done it right there. But he sees something. That's why the manager, you know.
A lot of players from that era talk quite highly of Mark McGee. I know we had Ives on here in the past, and he sort of spoke very highly. Said he's probably the best manager he's ever had. And I know you guys used to joke about, Ives like his little blue-eyed boy, weren't he? And I think as a player, Ron, I think you need that support. You need that manager to believe in you. You kind of get the best out of you.
Yeah, and you do. But and if you do fall out with them, it is a bit hard. But with them, if you've got a manager who believes you, feel 100% every game. You know what I mean? You've got his back. Listen, you still got to be pulling your weight though. You can't be like having days off or just turn up when you want to turn up in the games, and you know what I mean, not running back. And that's one thing I say about them boys there. We were a very fit bunch of lads, but you know what? We had each other's back. You know, like. If you were going, I was going. You know what I mean? Like with Davey Livermore, I had a great relationship with him, playing with him on that left sort of side of it. You know, like Stevie Reid when I got in, like, and even Robbie did. You know, you can see that like Robbie Ryan and Fleet got on, and Christoph Kinave, who he's, you know what I mean? Even, like, I know it sounds wrong to say, but even when the foreign lads come in, they got to grips of it the Millwall way. Yeah. And he was fantastic, Kinney. You know what I mean? He always had something in the bag. You know,
he was a bit mad, weren't he? To look at him, you wouldn't think so. Like,
I was thinking
him well then.
Oh, mate, when the boys cut his clothes up, and he just went straight out on the pitch and just started running out like I'm Pony Warner out. Like, I'm like, Scass, like, he's a big boy. I know issue. Oh, you know what? It's so funny. Like, they hung his clothes up on like the skeleton, like out in the field or like on a training pitch. And it made me laugh. I was thinking of things the other day because it was his birthday, and a couple of lads putting things up. And next thing, I remember that day he was that angry. All right, he come in and he didn't realise that the boys cut the ends of his socks off. So he's got his jumper in half and all that. So he's gone to put his sock on, and he pulled it right up. It was like a stocking, and he just blew again. He just blew again, and I just. You know, and you don't want to laugh. I'm just sitting at him right across from him like that, and he's shouting also "Portan" and all this French coming out. Belgium. I'm like, wow, live up to this geezer, like. And he was a little.
It was feisty, weren't he?
It was funny.
Funny,
but good.
We've been lucky over the years, haven't we? We do seem to get some really good, strong dressing rooms. You know, that's what Millwall built on, I presume. You know, it's fantastic, isn't it? To hear.
It always helps. I experience. I won't say what club, but you're in a dressing room and it ain't. It's every man for himself. People are looking. I want out. I want to go here. Like you get no consistency. You might have 2 or 3 of the pros or older pro. But when everyone's like, when you get a good dressing room, it's fantastic. And I think I've listened to like even like Birchie like on certain things. You know, he said about having the QPR one that was good, and I know he's going to be a bit biased because he's super hoops, but but I know he relates back to our one.
Yeah.
He says, there ain't much better for
him. Ronnie, how much does the manager play in that building an atmosphere and a camaraderie?
Because another reason as well, like I know going back to Rhino, and people might say shut up, like, but in a way, he was a player. So as at that club, so you see like how to let people off. They've all been players. Mostly all managers been a player, but even like and I think. Even when I was there I was gutted one year and they left me at home when they went to Seville. It was the worst feeling in the world. You know, like all your mates are going.
Was that a pre-season thing, was it? Or?
No, we used to go away in the middle of the season. Probably, that sounds bad. We used to get knocked out of the FA Cup. Except for
So you had a free weekend to yourself. Nice.
No, you was in training. Like them boys went away. You had to come in and train. And at the time, I was breaking down more than AA. You know, like getting called out. I just couldn't get fit. I just couldn't get fit that season. And I remember he just went to me and went like, "You ain't going." And I was
really. It was like
you go up. Yeah, he put the squad up, and I went in it, and he knew I was disappointed. But I learned from that because he pulled me in the summer. I think I played 2 games that season, and I was just injured completely. And he just pulled me in. And the year we won the league, I think I played 3 games, but I think I got in them 3 games. I've done it right, you know, like with it. And but I just kept breaking down, and I remember he just. Season's finished. Everyone has to go in for a meeting after the season. When the close season, he just pulled me to the side and he said, "Listen, we're going to Germany at start of the season for pre-season." He said, "At the minute, you're not in it." And I was like, "Wow, all right, fair enough. I'll take that on board." I didn't go in with salt. I had 2 weeks straight off. Like as I said, I wasn't a big drinker, and then they're still young, you know, like that. And mate, I just hit Hackney Marshes. Hackney Bar swimming pool, and I was swimming. I just had 2 weeks complete break. Went away with the lads, like all the Millwall boys, like we all went away, enjoyed winning the league. And I just thought, no, I'm not going to be missing out. I want to go away this time because I know what it was like that year when I didn't go Seville. And I thought, I want to be experienced what all my mates are doing, you know what I mean?
Ain't that mad though, Ron? You think about it, you played like a handful of games in that promotion season. The season you got up in the championship, you then play like 20 odd games that season, didn't you? Which I wonder that's good management that he's kind of got your head right pre-season.
Oh, he did.
You come back fitter, and that's what gave you the run of games. And
I looked round and I could see like the likes of like Reedy, Ives, Tim. You know, they're like poor old Joey done his knee. You know what I mean? I feel so sorry for him. Like with that, and and then like even like everyone was such a tight group. Everyone going away like they're like Livers with me, like you know what I mean, local boy to me in Tottenham. So I was like my mates are like doing this. I want to be a part of it. And at the time, I said I wasn't fully fit. Maybe it was growing and stuff like that. But like Sads, I keep sorry about Sads there. Sorry, like with that, like him, he had his injury problems. And you know what? It was just so crazy that year. Everyone come back absolutely like fit as a butcher's dog, ready to go. Wow. And I remember that pre-season, I just couldn't do enough. You know, like I just was just super fit.
Good. It certainly paid off, didn't it?
It paid off, yeah. And I think I was involved in that year when I look back at it. 'Cause I won Young Player of the Year as well. I always remember that, and that was I didn't know nothing about Player of the Year or anything. And
just want to say, Ronnie, we've got a quiz organised later, and that was one of my questions. So you just fucked one up.
I've got 1 point then.
Yeah, you got that point. You got that one right. This is gonna get one right now. Bunny, before we go to the chat, tell me about the first time you went away with Ives. Your first holiday, your lad's holiday with Paul Eiffel.
Did he pay for it? Yeah, it was quite funny. We already were away. We've already done like the league and all that where we won the league. So anyway, Ice was just itching and scratching to get away. Like he wasn't with anyone.
Was there a bird or something you met? Was there a girl?
Yeah, there was a couple of scarce birds out there, and he just like. So he just phoned me up out of nowhere and went, "I know you ain't got a bird, you're ginger." Like so, he was like, I was like, so I had a chuckle to myself. So he said, "Bully, do you fancy it, mate? I've never booted down that. What is it? M23, and
yeah.
Down. Yeah, And he said, look, get to mine, park up at mine. I'll get a cab to Gatwick and we'll fly out in the morning. I was like, Ice, I'm skint, mate. We've done Tenerife, we've done Ayia Napa, like all the. I went, Ice, I'm on the floor. I'm waiting for the signing on fee to throw in like every 1st of June. So yeah, he paid for me, took me out there, and it was so funny. We got there, so I just said, Ice, like, where's the hotel? And he was just staring at me like that. And I went, where are we staying? He didn't even have a hotel. We just had flights. So we ended up just going to a hotel. And it was just
you had to find a hotel in peak season.
Yeah, and let us in and that. And it was just great. I think we were supposed to stay. I think you got a flight for 2 weeks because it was so cheap for 2 weeks. I went, I can't stay there for 2 weeks.
No accommodation.
Yeah, I think Paul Eiffel made me the fittest man that year, probably doing that, worrying when I was out there.
Yeah.
Honestly, him, and as I say, the rest of them, just fantastic.
And was his Scouse bird worth it?
Mate, he come home like me. He come home like me with nothing. So like that, he might as well be ginger.
Well, let's go to the chat, guy, because the comments are great. So Alex S says, I don't think we'll ever see a crop of youngsters like that come through once again, which is true. That was an amazing time, wasn't it?
Yes.
Daniel, evening lads. Stephen Joseph, how am I getting back in next week with this lineup? I know, Stephen. Stephen, cheers for the questions, by the way, mate. I appreciate your help with that. We'll get that done later. Jeff says that Ronnie, that Wembley final, we all thought the Wigan player had handballed it on the touchline to keep it in play, and they scored the winner from that move. Do you remember that at all?
It was quite funny. To tell the truth, I didn't, all right? But when you look back at it, the game, and I remember it was something like the 88th minute, wasn't it? It was really late they scored. And it's horrible. Anytime the Birmingham goal done me when they scored that so late because you can't do nothing. You can't do nothing.
That's right.
But someone, I don't know, was it on Gerard Lavin's side or I don't know if it's on Gerard Lavin's side.
Was he a fullback? You're right.
Yeah, Lav. Yeah. And, someone brought him up the other day at Watford. When I was there, one of the directors when I was chatting to one of them, he brought up Lavin. I couldn't believe it when he brought up Lav. What a lad and what a player as well. Good player. But again, he was
Scottish.
Yes.
He was,
yeah. He played. I ended up meeting him again. I think it was Bristol City. He went to, and I played against him a little bit later when we got in the team. But again, he was just in an era where the club was moving in the direction, and he just didn't get on board that time. But he was a good player. He was a good player. But I think he's right. I think now, if you look at it, there's nothing around like it is today.
No, exactly. Carl Bracer went to Wembley to watch my team. So he was there at 99, I presume that's what he means. Chris Brown, Stephen is fat dance recruiting, mate. Alex there says, it's a great episode. His story of the tear up with Spurs in pre-season is quality.
We played Spurs for Keith Stevens' testimonial.
All right, I remember that.
That's legendary. I've still got the glasses now, like what we got, and it's like a tight bugger. You know what I mean? It could have got us something different.
Are they behind you? Are they the ones behind you?
No, they're in Hackney. So I'm not allowed to bring them really here.
Craig, what's up?
But that was Glenn Oddle. I remember we just all went off. Even they were crying that we were kicking them. And Johnny Gorman, Johnny Gorman's great. I ended up going to Wickham and lucky enough to spend a month or so with him. And he was great. But Glenn Oddle was crying his eyes out. Ray Hartford was just hammering him. But honestly, we did not stop kicking him for was kicking him. It was just Millwall way. He was just getting stuck in.
They
were crying even he was crying about the football. They wanted to use the night balls. The night balls. And he was well,
look at the night balls.
Yeah.
Hughes says, Ronnie, playing with Denzel at the height of Falls and Horses, did you get any stick for your middle name?
Yeah, that's funny. You know what? When you hand your passport in, all right?
Yeah.
and Bertie wanted all the passports. I know why now, because he wants to have a look who's got naughty middle names. And then they just started. At first, I didn't click. He's shouting out, Dave! Oh, Dave, and I was like,
no,
and I just started laughing. And Ronnie Rodney Ball, what a bad name, man. So,
Ronnie Rodney Ball.
The call, Rodders, Dave, just Man.
Lads, remember I told you about my son? Oh, Carl, that's in the League Cup final with Fisher. My son broke his arm. Oh, no. So, Ronnie, Dave Martin, one of my listeners here, his son plays at a decent level, Kyle, and he got to a League Cup final with Fisher, but unfortunately broke his arm, unfortunately, so he couldn't take part, sadly. So, hope he gets well, David, mate. Hope Carl recover. Cheers for that. Alex says, Ronnie, when Dion Dublin came on loan, how intimidating was a shower with him and Denzel? Imagine you being in the middle of those two. Fucking hell.
How'd you know? I'm not as bad as them two either. Like, right for a little
Oh, yes. I remember. Yes. You want to know the answer to that one? Yeah. Watch the YouTube interview of me and Chaps. You can find out what he means by that. The old Coco Pop.
In Coco Pop, yeah. But he made me laugh, like when them two, they used a lot of shower gel in there, let me tell you. By the way, two big units as well, great. When he come in, I tell you, he was great. He was great. I think I told the story when he missed the open goal at Birmingham, and we had a massage table in the middle. He picked that up, and I could hear it bouncing around. He was going mad in the dressing room, and we come in a bit late, so I was a bit late coming back in, and because he was distraught really, and he was gone, but he was fantastic. So just have little conversations with you before games, got in the hotel, and had time for everyone, and told us loads of stories for even being in where he's come from, him and Cladger, like at Cambridge, And I remember that. I remember trying to go to, because I lived in Hackney, just to get a 253 bus up to Finchley Park to Highbury. And I tried to get in that day, and we couldn't get in, me and my best mate, and he was a gooner. But I wanted to see both of them because they had a great cup run, Cambridge, and they got Arsenal in the third round. And but he was fantastic with the Cladger as well. Like, I got on really well with Steve. And but Dion, he's great. Great round the place, but he should have scored that goal. That's the problem.
That game, Ron, I know it's a painful one for us to relive. Obviously, the second leg of the semi-final against Birmingham and Stern John, but obviously it all kicked off that evening, didn't it? After the game outside, you obviously played in that game, didn't you? And then what was it like being in the change room, hearing what's going on outside, and being told you can't leave? I mean, what was that like for a player at that time?
Tell you the truth, for me, I was still in shock. Because I never, as what I set out, that for my thing was to get in the playoffs. We get in the playoffs, we win the playoffs. We were that good. And I know if home and away leg, we got the draw back at the Den. I thought, you know what, this is a no-brainer. We go there, if we get a result as in beat them, a draw's a result. But because we start 0-0, we should, don't win it, we finish 0-0. And that was a good saying that we had, like, let's keep what we got. But if we get that year, we took a lot of scalps away. I remember we doing West Brom, Sadler, Run and Ragged. And but even loads of places we went where you didn't think you were going to get, not get anything. We went and just rolled teams over. Yeah. But going back to what you were saying there, it was one of them. I just remember just sitting there, and I kept my shirt that night. I didn't have no socks on. I threw my shorts in and things like that. I just remember just sitting there for ages, just slumped, and just thought. Then you start hearing things. Patty, bless him, right? He'd come in, kit man, and just like I said, it is going off out there. You know what I mean? He's a local lad. You know what I mean? Like, phone calls are going, like I said, like, and then they locked us in, didn't they? They locked us in, like all the main gates were all locked. And I remember going up in the players' lounge, and Darren Pearce was a friend of the family, and I remember chatting to him and chatting to the Birmingham boys, because at the end of the day, the game's done. We've got the ump, but and they couldn't get out. They couldn't get out.
Of course, I forgot about that.
They couldn't get out, and I just remember it like it was one of my. People were slinging drinks down the neck for two reasons. One, they're celebrating, and one, we're so
sort of drowning sorrows a little bit. Yeah, exactly.
And I wasn't a drinker, like so. I'll say like that. I had my car as well, so that wouldn't have helped. But I just, it was just, horrible. And then remember they let us out. They let us out about 1 o'clock. I think it was around that late. I've gone after midnight. I remember driving out and the rubble, driving over the cars, like, and the fans were still there. Fans were still there, and they were banging. I remember banging on the car, like, "Well done, bully son." I was like, I just gutted for everyone, because
Yeah.
Not saying that if we'd have won, that wouldn't have happened. All right. I'm not saying it should have happened because we lost. By the way, that is not the way it is. But yeah, it was that. But say that it was a bit more retaliation from them. Say like when we went there.
Yeah.
And I understand what does go on in the terraces, believe it or not. And I won't go into too much of that, but I always remember that when we got the goal. I remember a fan, he got the ball and he was calling me bullshit. Come here, bullshit. I thought, I've heard that how many times in my life, like Jesus. And I remember he spat at me. He spat at me to get the ball. You know the bit where he used to bend round, he spat at me. And I was just like,
bloody hell.
And I was like, and I just said to him, I went to him, you won't be there fucking Thursday night. Let me tell you that now.
Exactly.
You know, like, he's all right in his own.
Yeah, exactly.
He's gaffed on a Saturday, and I went to him, you won't be there Thursday night, will you prick? Like that. I remember just thinking, dirty bastard, to spat at me. Like I was like, but yeah, and then I'm going back to, I never thought we'd get beat. Yeah. We'd go to the final, and then it's a coin toss. Then who's got the nerve? Because you've seen bigger teams get there and get rolled over.
That's right. Exactly.
I always thought we'd have another day at Wembley, and it never happened. But yeah, that was a tough pill to take. A tough pill to take. And it probably, and even it went into next year a little bit with me. I was still a little bit shocked. That you got beat, but then you learn in your career, you got to roll your sleeves up and go again.
What was that season like though, Ron? Because obviously you started a lot of games at the beginning of the season. I think they might have rotated Robbie Ryan in the middle bit. And then you had a good run towards the end, didn't you, as well, back in the team?
Oh, yeah. It was...
what's that like, the competition with Robbie Ryan playing left-back and fighting for that place?
What was good with Mark McGee, he used to play me away. When we went away, not play me away, but when we went away, he would go a little bit, let's see how we're going to go. Put the 4-4-2.
Yeah.
Right? No disrespect to Robbie Ryan here, like I'm like helping him out. Let's just like go with it like that and see how we go. And some games, I remember Wimbledon, I played fantastic at Selhurst Park. I come off there with I just always remember it was great, just a great game I had. And he went with that. And then I remember when we played Wolves and he apologised to me after. It was 0-0 and he took me off and Michael Branch scored. I think it was Michael Branch in the 86th minute. And he looked round at me and I punched the dugout. Because I thought, why are you taking me off with 4-4-2?
Yeah.
With 0-0, 86. But when I went and spoke to him the next day, and I just said, "Look, sorry, for punching the dugout because I'm a young kid, I shouldn't be getting up and ranting and raving." And he went to me. He went, "Look," he said, "Look, I'm sorry to take you off, but he said I'm the manager and I wanted to win the game." He thought we could win the game. That's what. So what can you do?
Yeah.
Well, can't moan at him, can I? And shout and holler at him. But yeah, I played a lot, say, left midfield as well.
That's what
Robbie played as well in that.
Yeah. With him on the same side. Did you start right back one game as well for Millwall? I'm sure you did. There's one game you actually started at right back, and it
probably couldn't get back to left back, and I had to start.
Maybe, but it's just so weird that obviously as a left, you see right-footed players playing left back, but you very rarely see a natural left-footed player play right back. I remember one game. Well, come on, it was now. They actually started you right back. You done all right actually. You done pretty well there.
Well, you're technically a very good player. Ronnie, he was technically very, very good. Without that, you'd have been good in the modern game, Ronnie, without a doubt.
Oh, Jesus, I wouldn't mind it now with the money.
Absolutely.
I know. Jesus, it's great.
One thing a name that was mentioned before. I don't think he always gets the plaudits he should. Ray Harford, we were very lucky to have him, weren't we?
Oh, Ray, you know what? Ray weren't in full time with us.
Right.
He was only in he used to come in with Rhino and Macca for, I think it was 2 days a week, all right?
Just a bit of coaching.
All right, and then Mark McGee did have him in quite, and Ray loved it. You know, you were doing things on the pitch, all right? And he was just in his own, walking around, big character as well, and a big man. And he was just laughing,
He used to love.
When you see what he likes, when they were saying about ice, I know Ray loves Sads. He loves Sads. Yeah, he loves Sads. And he used to put sessions on where he used to left foot to left foot, as in firing in at an angle, and he'd always say to me when I was he's on all the time. Trust me. If you ain't got nothing in the channel, remember we lost Chopper that year as well. You know what I mean? We lost Chopper through the camps that was you missed a person who would make say a shit ball look good when you're just putting it in the channel. And you made me look good, Robbie look good, Matty Lawrence look good. Because if no one don't run in there, you know you're going to get 20,000 fans thinking, what are you doing? You know, but you've been told to do it. But then, you know what I mean, Clad, for his age, he put a shift in, you know what I mean? He'd run a channel and he could drop it into him and hold it up.
Ron, what's Sad's like? Obviously, you played with him, you trained with him, and everything else. I mean, everyone talks about how good he was, and he retired so young with his injury. But how do you describe him?
Well, see, I played with Sad because I was quite, like I said, lucky. I come in at 15, so Sadler was just come over. Is it Bohemians? Is it or something like that?
From Ireland.
Right. Yeah, they produced a lot of talent out of Ireland. And be fair play to Millwall. They used to get most of their players. I think it was Stevie Roach and all that. Roach, he was a wonder like that. But,
I remember him,
Like they produced good players. And but Sad's again a little bit, say like myself. I spent a lot of time in the treatment room with him, and he just, I think he had growing pains. I remember he had an injury. I always remember it because I was sitting next to him, and he had a pelvic itis or something, or if I'm right with that words, it was also doing his groins, but growing. And we was playing in the youth team. He'd come in. I mean, him and Danny Upton up front in our youth team.
Yeah.
And it was just wow, you know what I mean? And Danny, in the first team scoring goals, then Danny just slipped down the pecking order. Sads went and scored a few, but he could never get himself to that level with fitness. And then he come back as well. Again, he come back. I'm not saying just that season we all did, where he just but you know what is he 6'2", 6'3"?
He was about 6'2", 6'3",
But he was quick.
Yeah.
He was quick with it. And that's what I think frightened the centre halves. You know, they think, he's just gonna head on a stick, flick it on, and that for Claridge or Chop. Mate,
was he good enough? If he carried on the way he was, Ron, would you say he's good enough to play in the Premiership, Sad? Was that good?
There was, you know what, and this is that year, there was rumours about everyone. Even Robbie Ryan, there was rumours about him, you know, getting a move. Wind him up now,
Get a move or get shot.
But there was rumours that Timmy straight away, you know what I mean? He's a midfielder scoring 12 goals and things like that, hitting double figures for a midfielder. Davey Livermore breaking up plays, and Mark Bircham, you know, and then Ice can go left foot, go right foot. Stevie Reid, come on, you know what I mean? I've known Reedy since a kid.
What a team,
you know what I mean? Darren Ward. And then you look at Matty Lawrence, can easily go and play at that level and maybe can nick a Prem. And then Chop, you know what I mean? Before Chopper got ill, mate, there was loads watching him. And could he? There was rumours, mate, that there was, I don't know, Aston Villa. I don't know, you know what I mean? There was money on the table if we didn't go up. And he was good, but he had everything as in Mark McGee worked with him a lot. He worked with him a lot, and he did him as well. But he could pin you, he could roll you, and he was horrible to play against. You know, vicious. Vicious.
And with all elbows, weren't he, and stuff.
You wouldn't want him on a Monday morning. You know what I mean? You're trying to ease yourself down. He would clump you and you just and he never made it easy for me. Say you as a fullback and Matty, you'd get the ball. And you want to look up and play a pass or whatever. Yeah, he would be straight on top of you, bang,
press you, to stop you.
Yeah, press you. And he had a great engine, great engine.
Sorry, go on, mate.
No, sorry, lads. No, I'll just say with him, I'm so talk about it, and it is such a shame he had to retire at an age where he could have gone on and fulfilled his dreams in that way. We all make a dream by becoming a professional football player. But you can keep going to, you can't go no more, and you look back and go, you know what? I did have some good times.
Yeah. Alex was saying here, I remember West Brom away, we won 2-0. Sad's got both of the goals. He was unplayable that day.
Yeah. And you know what? That was just a fantastic game. I played left wing back that night. And I remember Gary Megson absolutely raving on me. I smashed Raw Fox completely in two early doors. And
brilliant.
Fox.
He was a player, weren't he? Raw Fox at the time.
Yeah, you know what? And I thought he was at the age of probably 30, you know what I mean? I thought, but still had a yard of pace. And you know what he likes as well? Touch and cross. And I remember I just absolutely absolutely mullered him, all right? And everything was going right for me. Flags was running the channel and things like that, Cladger. And I remember Derek McGuinness. He played for Millwall, didn't he?
Yeah, he's Scottish ready guy, isn't
he? It was just so funny. Davy Livermore played in the next one along from me. Like, so I was the wing back. He was the midfield. I think Birch might have been in the middle. Yeah. So I remember I said to Livers, like I always say to Livers, have a nibble, right? So he would have a nibble, so someone would have a big touch, and then you would just come in and clean them out, or just run off with a ball. Right?
Yeah.
And I've done Derek McGuinness, all right? And then he said the same thing to me late on in the game, and Livers absolutely put him, mate. And Steve Claridge was giving it to him, you old bastard, like. And I'm thinking, you're about 110. Right? And it all kicked off in the dressing, like in the tunnel.
Did it?
Right? Remember they got Big Darren Moore. Big Darren Moore's a love. He's a love. Want to put it on him. He's a love. Jesus. So we're having it in the tunnel. But Derek McGuinness, be fair, he can have a row. All right?
Yeah.
Well, he was going, and him and Cladger were having a tear up. He looked like two old women, though, with handbags, all right? And I went, go easy. You need your heart pills in a minute, mate. I was like,
your blood pressure.
It's all going off outside their dressing room and in their dressing room. Yeah. We've all fucked back off in our dressing room. Next thing, the gaffer's still in there. Mark McGee was still having a tear up. Wow. He was in their dressing room having it. So we've all had to go in and get him out. Like he was having a tear up in there. It just all went off. It was just, it was blinding.
Unbelievable.
Great night, though, honestly.
All this you don't know and don't see. You know,
I know. You don't, do you? As a fan, you don't see what goes
on.
It's
funny.
Ronnie, Born Free, Die Free says, what's your thoughts on this squad and Alex Neil?
Well, as I spoke to you before, Joe, when I went Watford, and I do apologise, I've been a bit busy since Christmas. When then when Alex Neil come in, listen, he knows the league because he's been around, but he has. He's done that.
Guy,
so I would say that the squad, what I see at Watford, like they soaked up. Well, they could have been losing by more, but. That's how football is. You don't take your chances. You don't win games. And that's what happened with Watford that day. And I did tell a few Watford people who I was with, they were moaning and groaning. And I went, but if you don't take your chances in that first 35 minutes, Millwall grew into the game. And I thought that was a good thing to see. Good thing to see from me looking at it and fans that we've gone there. We've took their best. They ain't took their chances. And we nicked 2-1. And not nicked 2-1, but at the end, run them over. I thought they didn't look fit, Watford, and I don't really care anyway. But he's got some good players there, and he's got some of the we can't say they're old boys, but the ones what have been left behind. Because I didn't even know he brought 8 players in. Is that true?
It's a massive window, isn't it? Well, that's it. With SA going, there's a few players in the summer as well. But you're right; it's about 7 or 8 new players. Some of them play. Some of them are injured. I think 3 or 4 have been injured for quite some time. You know. But it's a real big revamp. What did you think of the team? Is there any players that sort of stood out for you this season that you've seen so far?
I literally, I think, I say this, like Tanga, right now he's playing centre half. Remember he played in a 3, then he played right back. I think he looks quite good at centre half.
Tanganga,
Tanganga, Hackney boy as well. So like watching him.
That's true. You saw Casper in the middle, Casper de Noord. What do you think of Casper?
You know what? He's been since I was at the last game when we was talking to him. A lovely fellow, had time for you.
Oh, you talked to him in the lounge, weren't you?
Yeah. I think he's been fantastic for Millwall. And looking at it, I think they've got to play together as well. I see a little togetherness with them. I'm not saying it wasn't there when Neil had it. And do you see a lot of similarities between your Mill team back in the day to this Mill team? Is that a similar dynamics or not quite there yet? I think I would say no, because the reason why we never played out of the back. We never played out of the back. As in, not if you had Scouse on here now and you asked him with them old big old boats he had, you know what I mean? Like to start popping the ball back to Nevers, he had a set of Jester boots on, you know what I mean? He got.
Although I do remember Denzel doing the old drag backs a couple of times. When the striker's going to close them down to clear, you're thinking no, and he'll just do a little drag back, weren't he? Or drop the shoulder and go that way.
Yeah.
Heart in the mouth situation, wasn't it?
Yeah. I'm not saying our boys couldn't play, but that Mark McGee and Ray didn't want that, you know.
No.
And And like Darren Ward was a player. Stuart never got to be at a Premiership club all his life. You know what I mean? Not saying back in them days they did play football a bit, but not as much as today across the back. But it weren't our way. But can I see it? Well, you just got to look. What I said earlier. You got two wingers. What can just hurt you? Ives left foot, right foot. Reedy. If you give him 2 yards, he'll put in a stanchion. You know what I mean? Like to bring a ball in. And he had pace, strong. Midfielder that scores 12 to 15 goals, holding midfielder what will just clear up everything. A goalkeeper, what I ain't probably seen, and I'm not no disrespect to any of the goalkeepers, you haven't seen a Tony Warner down there. You know what I mean? That's no disrespect to anyone, but that's in my eyes. Matty Lawrence is a right back, Robbie Ryan as a left back, and I put Robbie there, you know, with that. Nevers and listen, Cooper's good. And I like. You know, and that's no disrespect to them boys, by the way. I'm only going to say it because I played in that team and competed. And listen, Neil Harris, there you go, top.
I know
what he's done and done. You know what I mean? And,
and
that's no disrespect. Sorry.
Yeah, that's right. We've got a couple of more questions. And we're going to be doing the old quiz soon. If you're happy to stick around for the quiz, is that right, Ronnie? Yeah.
Yes,
we're going to test your knowledge of Millwall from 1935 to present. So Alex says Bully, did Leeds sign Livers by mistake? They sold him to Hull without playing him a game for them. Is that true?
You see, with Livers, he was another one. He always had a dodgy knee. Right? He had a dodgy knee, and I don't know if it was because he weren't there long. And even like when we sat when the boys become a manager like Mill, we would go around have a cup of tea with them and chat with them. And I was saying like you forget where people went without going on a Google search and all that. I mean, where did you go? And he went, I went Leeds. I was like, I didn't know you went Leeds.
Yeah,
and he went, I weren't there long. I weren't there long.
No, you're right.
He went down to Hull. Across the Hull, like, and I was like, I thought he went to Southampton. I don't know why. Did he? Am I wrong? I was like, for some reason.
Guys in the chat, they're usually pretty good, Ronnie. I'm sure that they'll work it out. Let us know, guys, in the chat where Livers went after that.
I don't know. But I know he had a really bad knee.
Yeah. Another question from Craig. Bully, how many points do you reckon Mill can get in all our last games? So we've only got about 8 games left in this season, but it's going to be a tough ask. We've got Sunderland away, which on Saturday is a real tough one. Try to think what games left now, Disco. What games left this season?
Pompey, Sheffield United, Burnley away, Norwich at home, Borough at home. We haven't got any easy ones, really, have we, to be fair?
Nah. They're all, Burnley last game of the season, which will be a tough one as well.
Yeah. You know, the only thing I can think of there is like the bigger games, the better. You got to play better. Yeah. You know, like as in a team. You know, and especially at home, you got half a chance. Even Stoke the other day. I know people might moan it was a bit of this, a bit of that, but you get a penalty, you win the game. Well, why can't that happen? And then listen, if that's the way Alex Neil's playing now to the end of the season, I said it after Watford. I even said to the gentleman I was with at Watford, he's a Watford fan. I said to him, there's no team talk today. Watford just to be thinking, if we win today, we grab hold of the towels of the playoffs. So I said like that, and I said, what Alex Neil will be saying, we can catch Watford here, and if things go our way, we can grab the towels, you know, like behind them. Yeah.
Did you score? Did you cheer, by the way? I know you're in the Watford end. Did you cheer when Mill scored?
The first one, I kept me nut down, all right. But then when the second one, all the directors, you know what I mean, I had to give it. Then I was like that. I thought, I've had a dinner. I've had a dinner.
I had my dinner already. There you go. Let's ask you a question, Ronnie. So apparently he thinks he went to Brighton.
Yes, that's true. That is true.
Where he ended up. Chris Brown says 16 clubs in 14 years. You like moving around then, Ron?
Someone asked you this. I said, yeah, because they paid me an extra tenner a week. I went, I tell you, I was paying a bit more money.
You always went where there's another £1 note.
You know what? Stevie Claridge told me that because I think he was on at Millwall. I think it was his 18th club or something, weren't it? And I remember just saying to him, he went to like that. He went, Yeah, I think, wherever was paying enough. Because someone went, why'd you go Grimsby? I went, I don't know why I went Grimsby. I went, it must have been the Queen's Head. I said, because I went, I just...
Not for the fish and chips.
I don't know about that. It was good. It was good up there. It was good.
You enjoy up in Grimsby. It's a real, I see it as a real weird fucking place to live in, isn't it? It's right out there.
I can't slag them off too much. I've still got family up in Lincoln. They go
have you? Oh, right. Okay, yeah.
Lincoln's nice.
They're probably closer to Grimsby than Lincoln. But with it, all right. I'm not just saying it. You know what done me there, all right? And I'll keep it quite quick because of the Millwall. Like, literally, it was. I remember we played Yeovil, and Yeovil were top of the league, and you're going there, and they're like, "How many we're going to lose today, ball?" I'm like, "What? We haven't even kicked off yet." You know, like, and I remember having a row with them. We beat them 2-1, by the way. We beat them 2-1. Wow. I ended up having a row with like a load of fans. And after the game, they're waiting around for you. Well, listen, I'm here. I went listen, you're writing us off before the game, mate. There's some good players in this dressing room.
To have, isn't it? Yeah,
there's some good players in this dressing room. We're not eating it off. They don't know. We've had 16 new players come together. The club's nearly folded. Russell Slade done fantastic that year. And then the next year, I think they got to the playoffs. And I was thinking, but they give me that. I just think, give us a chance. Because again, the spirit we had at Millwall, so what if we're playing the likes of Birmingham? You know, like we've been in Division 2 last year, or then it became the Championship. You know, like from Division 1, like them. And I said, like, mate, as soon as we knew we were playing the better sides, we want to roll our sleeves. I'm not saying we took the lesser sides, but if you're playing Charlton, who's come down from the Prem, it's a rival. What do you want to do? Palace. What do you want to do?
Yeah, exactly.
You want to make a name for yourself, don't you?
Exactly.
And I was like, to be fair, nothing happened. I shook their hands and they understood what I was saying. Give us a chance. There's some good boys in this dressing room.
I know.
Get behind us.
What's it like, Ron? To describe what it'd be like playing at the Den in front of the Millwall crowd. Was it intimidating? Did you enjoy it? What's the feelings like when you play to a full packed out Den when it's really buzzing?
That as I say, that year we had, the FA Cup would probably be a bit different because you're playing the semi-final at Old Trafford, but then that run into that playoff. Remember Wolves at home? They were in their early doors. Like the Wall were there, like, and I remember like Mark McGee, and that was just to shut up and have a listen. You know, like all the boys were in there, the old music's pumping, like, and the music would go down, and you go, listen to that. You know what I mean? Like they're here, they're behind us tonight, and let's go. Wow. You know what I mean? Let's go, and let's and honestly, I remember coming off that game, and it was just ringing in your ears. And even when we played Coventry, remember at Highfield Road, and we won 1-0 Claridge, and we had the whole of that side. Coventry give us the whole of the not behind the goal, the whole of that side. And I just remember second half, the buzz I was getting, like just with them being like behind.
Does it lift you? You hear players talk about the plans play a big part of being the 12th man. Is it true? Do you feel that extra 10% from it?
Listen, it's one of them. If you thrive off of that, it's great. Like, it's good. But, the worst thing was then the next year when we had all the crowd trouble, we had no one there. You could hear everything. You could hear someone ordering a hot dog.
Yeah. Someone ordering a hot dog.
It was terrible. It was so bad.
I can imagine,
that year, like, was just such a high. And then coming in, there was no one there. And, like, as in no one, that's disrespectful, but like 5,000 or 6,000. This ain't Millwall. Yeah. It was quiet. And you could hear it. You could hear everything. Yeah. And you're like, with that. But going back to it, that for me, that was unreal. And the Wolves game, even the Birmingham game, just the noise, what was coming out of there.
The atmosphere.
Just great.
Yeah. Because St Andrews has always been a noisy. I'm going to go watch Millwall away, St Andrews, Birmingham, and they've always been quite hostile, the Birmingham fans. And they kind of give us what we give them when they come to our ground. But I guess if you're playing away in those sort of environments, what's that like? Is it quite hostile? Does it make you play better? Do you feel a little bit sort of like withdrawn a little bit?
You know what? I didn't say don't care. The worst thing is like you do something wrong and everyone just dives on your back. Like that's great. Yeah. You know what I mean? That's great. You want that to happen to them, which we do to them, don't we? As well, with the home. And even with like there. I like say the banter West Ham, like, you know what I mean? It's just a hatred game. You know what I mean? The hatred game, and you get called everything. It's just great. And like if you can warm up there, you've done well, because you at least when you're on the pitch away from, like, you get battered. Like just saying, just like that. And with did I care about it? No. But you can give it back. In them days, you could just like turn around and start giving it to them.
To the fans,
as a football player, like what they're going to come on the pitch.
That's true. Yeah, exactly.
They can do. Could put Jack Grealish felt it, but I don't think that would have had it with the lads we had. You know what I mean? Like, and things like that.
Let's say there's a real togetherness, weren't it, back then?
Give it back to them, like, and it was just great. It was just great in that way.
There you go, Ronnie. So Darren Hoadley said Livers went from Leeds to Hull, then Brighton. If I remember, Leeds couldn't get their first choice signing, so signed Livers instead. Straight after he signed, the first choice then became available, so they sold him. All right. There you go.
Oh, I wouldn't have minded that. That's two signing on fees. Wages goes up because you come from Millwall to Leeds. And then
I love how your mind works. All you think about is the money. He done all right for himself.
Yeah.
Before he done all right. Right, we're approaching the hour mark. Guys, we've got a few of you in the chat still, which is really good. So we're going to do the old quiz, and Ronnie's going to do that with us as well. Before we do the quiz, Ron, I'm going to chuck some player names at you played with. I want you to give me one word to describe them to me. Okay? So if I say to you, Paul Lifes, what's the first thing that comes to your head?
Craig David.
Craig David. Great. Okay. What about Darren Ward?
Air dues.
But
probably got a better one for him. Unreal. I'll say him. Like, just unreal as in, like, his personality,
weren't he?
And he's just great. He's still great now at his age. You know, like
that. How would you describe Reedy if you use one word?
Kingston. What would I do with him?
Kingston.
Powerful.
That's a good one. I like that. And then Chopper.
The accountant. I'll say.
All right.
I heard that a few times. Why is that the accountant? Can you explain that?
I think he was an accountant. You know what? I remember sitting in the stand because we signed him. And sitting in the stand, I was only a kid, like, and someone shouted out, "Come on, you accountant!" Like, you know, probably threw a few F words in. Well, I have another accountant. And I was thinking, who's the accountant? But I don't know if when did we sign him from Cambridge City? I don't know if he was.
Yeah,
was he part-time accountancy or like
he was or something? You're right. He was. I think he was. Yeah.
Yeah, I just remember sitting in a stand. I was just staring at this bloke, like he was going, "Come on, you accountant, liven up."
What about Tony Warner?
Well, it seemed like a woman's because of the Liverpool thing with us, like going there. What can I say? Oh, Jesus. What can I say about it? Well, one word that comes into it to me. Just great for it, like for me personally, and everything for the club as well as himself. You know, went on and filled his dreams and held down a number one shirt in the Prem.
Yeah, two more. Dave Livermore. Strong
man.
And then last one, Tim Cahill.
Mowgli.
Oh, is that from the Jungle Book?
Yeah.
Brilliant. Was that his nickname?
He had a lot of Skippy. Yeah, TC. Mowgli was. I don't know. I never named him Mowgli. Someone popped it out, and that was in the U team. He looks like Mowgli.
Brilliant. Warline just said that Harris apparently worked in the city while playing non-league. There you go.
Yeah,
a money man.
Right.
Yeah.
Excellent. Right, guys, let's crack on with the quiz.
Brilliant.
So some of these questions I put together, some Disco helped me out with, some that Stephen Jones helped me out with as well. So basically what we do, Ron, is we ask the question out, we let the chat answer it first, we'll have a little think about it, and then I'll go to you and Disco and see if you can think of the answer, and then we'll see if the chat's right or not. Yeah, so first question, we're going back in the day, but not quite 1935, but in the 1975-76 season, so Disco, you might get this one right, Millwall were promoted to the second division, which is now called the Championship. when Crystal Palace failed to beat Chesterfield at home. Who was the Lions manager at the time? So, guys, in the chat, if you know the answer to that one, stick it in the chat. Who was the Millwall manager of the 1975-76 season when we got to the second tier of English football? Any ideas, Ron? If you know your Millwall history.
I can only remember back to Bruce Rioch.
Yeah, that's good. That's still going back a bit. Yeah,
Bruce Rioch, then Georgie Graham won it in the dock then.
There you go. That's right. Yeah. Disco, any ideas, Disco?
Well, I know it is. My mate put the question forward, and he's answered the question himself. How fucking sad is that?
Right.
You can't pose the question and then answer it. Dear me.
That's cheating, Jeff. That's cheating.
Yeah.
Here we go. Here's the answer. The answer is Gordon Jago. Jags.
Yeah.
Gordon Jago.
That's a hard one. I don't remember him. It's before my time. I'm only 27 years of age, and I. But when but I do remember people talking quite fondly about Jago. Apparently, he's a decent manager, wasn't he, back in the day? Okay, question number 2: Who scored Millwall's penalty in their 1-0 away win at Hull in 1987-88 season, securing promotion to the top flight of English football for the first time in the club's history? Bully, any answers?
Well, is it going to be everyone knows it's going to be Sheringham or Cascarino, or is it Les?
So basically, it's a player who scored a penalty against Hull that got us the goal that mathematically put us up into the top flight, the old First Division. It was a 1-0 win away at Hull.
Was he a striker though?
He was a left winger.
Winger.
Oh, Kelly, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Because he always, you know what? He was our youth team manager, and he used to take penalties and go, "This is what I've done." Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah, he had 2 stints at it. He had 2 stints at it, Kelly. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
I remember.
Right.
Quality player.
He had a wand of a left peg, honestly. Yeah. And you know what? Even when he was, I can't say he's old because he's probably the same age as me now when he was youth team manager, but he used to take free kicks. And he always used to try and, when Carlos done that, he always used to swing it and he used to get it. And I'm sorry to say that.
Did you see that? Darren Hoadley just said there, his best keeper in Escape to Victory. Do you know he actually played a part in the movie Escape to Victory?
He used to love it. He used to always pick it up that Pele. Did
he ever tell you how he got it?
Yeah.
Ron, how did he get a part of that? Did he ever tell you how he got it?
He played in that successful Ipswich side as well, didn't he? And they picked John Walk and all that. And they come down, and and I remember because you know what we used to say to him, right? We used to wind him up. We used to say, "Make it a clean break, Gov." You know, when he broke his arm, and he would go crazy, like cheeky little bastards.
Make it a clean break, Gov.
Make it.
That was his only line.
Yeah, that's what he used to say. He used to give it.
Make it a clean break, stuff, and
someone used to go like that, like shout at it. Oh, yeah, you cried when he broke your arm or something like. They were just banter going along. Like Pat McGuire was great for that in the youth team. He used to hammer everyone. I remember him saying he used to call Rhino rhinoceros. And in the morning, he used to go to him. He used to clean his boots, clean Rhino's boots. He'd say, "Good morning, rhinoceros." And he'd be like that, and Rhino would steam coming out of his ears, man. Kid.
Brilliant.
I can't imagine Rhino being jolly in the morning.
No, exactly. Question three. Another nice, easy one. In the 1990-91 season, after getting relegated to Division 2 from Division 1, Teddy Sheringham was our top goal scorer, scoring 38 goals that season in the second tier. But the question is, who was our second highest goal scorer behind him with 12 goals?
So I'm presuming his strike partner had gone then, yeah? Did he? Do you know? Yeah.
Well, was Cascarino was sold to Villa?
He'd gone, hadn't he?
Villa, he would have gone. He would have gone.
Yeah.
12 goals from
midfield. Second goal scorer, highest goal scorer.
Goodman? No, has he gone?
No, good choice. I think
is he a striker, Joe? Is he a striker or a?
He's a midfielder.
Midfielder.
I would say this is a bit of a clue here. He was the Tim Cahill of that era.
Well, it will be. I think Alex has got it, isn't he? Yeah.
Alex Ray.
Was it Alex Ray?
Yeah,
wow.
yeah. His first season.
I didn't know.
Didn't realise he was that early.
Yeah.
Didn't realise he was that early.
Yeah, we had him there. So his first season, scored 12 goals in that second tier.
He was a good midfielder. I come to Millwall at 15, and I was quite lucky to train with
Was he still there? Was he?
Yeah, he was one of the last ones to go.
Really?
And,
what's he like then? I remember him much.
Oh, mate, you know what? He wasn't a big player either, as in like a unit or anything. You know, I don't like say the mould of like a Dennis Wise. Not as small as him, but he wasn't really. I'll say like a unit. Yeah. But I tell you what, hard as nails. I played against him at Wolves, and I tell you, hard as nails. But supposed to be an absolute top lad as well. Absolute top lad. Like I was just a kid. But I just trained with the first team, and mate, he was mustard getting on it. Loved it.
Brilliant. Question number 4. At the end of the 2001-2002 season, Neil Harris was voted Millwall Player of the Year. But can you tell me who was voted Millwall Young Player of the Year?
01-02.
Anyone in the chat? Any ideas who that might be? Alex is getting all the answers right today. You're absolutely spot on. Ronnie Ball was voted Young Player of the Season after Neil Harris winning Player of the Season. Well done, Alex.
Well done, Ronnie. Fantastic.
Thank you.
Well done, Ron. Question 5. Who scored the winning goal in the 2010 League One playoff final?
Alexander?
No. I know you're thinking about the Scunthorpe one, yeah?
Oh, that was it, yeah.
Scunthorpe, yeah. So
what was that, 2010?
2010 is when we got promoted, the League One playoff final.
Oh, it must be.
Do you remember that was this?
Didn't we have this last week? Didn't we have this? Oh, no, it was Name the Player. Wasn't he one of the Name the Players last week?
Might be, yeah, he was named the player last week.
No. Sorry, it's the other centre half, isn't it? Yeah, Robbo. Of course it is. Yeah.
Robbo.
Did Paul Robbo?
All runs it, yeah.
Darren got it right. Jeff's got it right. Robinson, Simon got it right as well. Well done, lads.
You see, with Robbo as well, you know,
like
he come through the youth team, but I'm not. I'm just letting know as well. He done really well coming into like later in his career, as in coming through the youth team. And he was a horrible player to play against.
Really? He was obviously a bit younger than you, weren't he? So when you were playing, he was in the youth team coming through, was he at the time?
Coming through, yeah. And he was still like mixing it. Because
was he playing with the likes of Ben May, Alan Dunn, that era coming through, was it?
Yeah, Marky Phillips. And like Marky Phillips was a good centre half, mate. And I'm not saying it wrongly, like horribly, but it probably looked like Phillips was going to be the one.
Yeah.
And then Robbo, I'll tell you, it's been the funniest thing. Pre-season, him and Nevers used to pull each other along at the back. They were just the worst runners in the world.
Really?
And it just shows you haven't got to be the best runner and all that. And he was a horrible centre half to play against. He would accidentally just step on your Achilles, twist, elbow you. Not being funny for someone, he just crash into the back of you, headbutt you at the back. And he didn't need him on a Monday morning. But Robbo, great attitude. It was great attitude, 100% out of him, and knew the Millwall way. And he proved it with his career at the club.
Brilliant.
Yeah,
Next question.
Lovely lad as well.
Next question. Yeah. What was the shirt sponsor for the Millwall 2000-2001 home kit? Exactly, Alex.
You know that, Ronnie?
What one was that?
What was the shirt sponsor for the 2000-2001 home kit?
2000. Was it really Dark Arts?
No. He said Dark Arts. It's all about Robbo. It's all about Robbo. He only said about how he was a player.
Dark Arts, I've gone there, yeah.
It wasn't our sponsor. Ronnie's probably thinking, I know he got a few beers that season, but I don't remember Dark Arts as sponsor.
So it's the year after Wembley, are we saying, or a couple of years after Wembley?
Yeah. 2001. We've got a couple of answers coming in.
So is it? Oh, it's not.
It's that, yeah.
It's Giorgio. That one. There you go.
Like, you know the worst thing, they had
Taylor.
some naughty pants as well. They used to give you naughty pants as well, like,
Did they?
like to wear, like, yeah, Giorgio pants. It was like, no, go back to the
Giorgio pants. You know, when what's it like? You know, with Theo for Peters, boy. You know, when he obviously had Ryman and stuff like that. Did you guys get like a discount or with Ryman?
I terrorised in shops.
Well, he wouldn't have got to buy pens and paper, would he? I
can't even write my own name.
I heard a story that players go in there and like just take fucking loads of stuff out, didn't they?
You know, my best mate was manager of the one at Tottenham Court Road. So I used to go out there every Friday. We used to, I think it was the Black Horse pub. So I used to go in there. I used to just wreck his shop. I went, just tell the chairman, what's he going to do? I mean, Nicky Brothers and fun and right. Tell the chairman, right, get him on the phone. I'll tell him I'm smashing his shop. He'd be like, no, look. Honestly, I used to wreck that shop in there, and then we used to go over to the pub like and have a drink like on a Friday evening.
Brilliant.
But yeah, he was manager of. I used to tell Theo to sack him as well. Like, just say, like, he's sleeping on the job and all that. It was just funny.
Was it Theo's other company that got the pants for you? Didn't he do something on that?
He had Licenza, didn't he? He had
Licenza.
Yeah, Paul Eiffel wearing frilly knickers down in Brighton. That was what it is.
Brilliant. Next question. Millwall played Aston Villa away in our first ever league game in the top flight of English football in August 1998. But can you tell me the score and who scored for Millwall?
Yes.
Ooh. Can you? Oh, that's a confident yes from Disco. Let's give the chat 10 seconds, get their answers in, and we'll go.
What's that, 98?
So 98, the first season, the top flight. Our first
88.
ever game.
88,
88.
88.
Yeah.
88.
So I said 98 today. I meant 88.
88, yeah.
88. We've got a few answers coming in the chat. Yeah, they're all getting it right. Go on, Disco. What's the answer?
Yeah, it was Desmond Tutu, and it was Cascarino. And Jeff Cook, who's put it in there, I was stood next to him on the terraces watching it. Yeah,
was you at the time?
Yeah, we were there.
We were there.
I was young then, Joe. I was a bit of a boy then. Don't worry.
I know.
The disco in me was a few years away. Don't worry.
A few years away. There you go. They're all getting it right. They're all getting it right. Excellent. Right. Next question. In 2002, Ronnie, you'll get this one right. In 2002, Millwall lost 1-0 to a Stern John injury time winner versus Birmingham in the second leg of the semi-final playoff. The question is, who were our two starting strikers that day? But before you give the answers, Ron, just give the chat 10 seconds to get their answers in.
Do you know, with that, you know Stern John that year, how many goals he scored against us? And what for how many different clubs?
No.
Go back and have a look that year. Because remember, you could just sign when you wanted to sign. There was none of that windows, were there?
Oh, right.
Have a look who he scores for. And that's a good one to have a look on our questions.
Is that what it's like, was it?
Well,
that's interesting.
Yeah, mate, his record against us was unreal that year.
Unbelievable. Right, we've got a couple of answers coming in.
Money, to be fair, at that level.
Hate him, really.
Disco?
Yeah.
Any ideas, Disco?
I would have said Dion, who we mentioned before, and then I presume it would be Ronnie's mate, Cladge, would it, up front as well with him? Was it them?
Is that right, Ron?
Yeah, the bin man.
The bin man.
What a strike force, eh? Fucking.
So, Ron, why wasn't Harris playing that game? He was on the bench, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was on the bench. This is like no disrespect to Neil, I need to tell you, because it's one of them. You think he had a severe illness, like, you know, with it, and I have a joke of him. He knocked the bollock out of you, you know, like that, and it was like, really, like with him. But you think of it, having all what he had done to him, to come back and hit the floor running, you probably gassed out with the games he probably played, and he needed a break.
Did he play in the first leg though against Birmingham? At their ground? For some reason, I think he played in that game, and I think he was rested in the final. I
asked Mark McGee. We were talking about the game when we come back for we played, I think it was Bristol City. Remember they done an anniversary when we did win the first time we got promoted, and everyone was on the pitch and things like that, the old boys. And I asked him, I said, what were you going to do? Anything different in that game? And he went, you know what? I hope I'm right, because I did have a few Guinnesses that day when we was talking about it. He went to me, I was just bringing Neil on. Really? As they scored. And he went, I wish I fucking got him on for 5 minutes before it, because it breaks the pattern of play up. And he said, if I'm 100%, I think he did say that to me. And he said, I was bringing Neil on. But going back to it, I think it was just because it was just a season where them lads, Richie Rich was on fire, then got injured. Dion's come in, Cladger's doing his thing every week, and Neil's just coming back to it. And then look after that, then his career come back to where it should have been, scoring goals.
Yeah. No, you're right, exactly.
You think how we've struggled over the last couple of years, especially, but probably more than that, for strikers, for one, let alone two, and there's 4 you've mentioned here, Ronnie, who are in the team now.
It's
unbelievable.
True.
You know what it is? Have a look what the boys chipped in from midfield. You know,
that's true. Yeah, the wingers, the centre mids. Yeah.
Mate, that's left back couldn't score a goal to save his life.
Even when it passed for him.
Yeah. But everyone else
to get 4 of them, you know, and midfielders chipping in with goals, and Timmy, you know what I mean, it's different compared to him, but you know, Livers weren't going to get you that because he's a defensive midfielder. Even Birchie chipped in with goals. You know what I mean?
We never struggled, did we? We never struggled for goals much, did we? You know.
No. And that was always a thing when we was always there. We always knew we had a goal in us.
Yeah.
It didn't matter if I weren't playing or that, or say them, like, you'd watch it, you'd be sitting on the bench and went, you know what, I fancy we'll get a couple here today, or we'll definitely get one. You know what I mean? And that always gives you a chance.
That mindset, exactly. Question 9. Who scored for Millwall in a 2016 League One playoff final?
2016?
2016 League One playoff final. I'll give you a clue. We actually lost that game, didn't we? Was that against Barnsley?
Barnsley, then.
Yeah.
He scored a wonder goal, that kid, that day, didn't he?
Because I was there as well,
Oh, mate, I'm not being funny. That, you know, when credit's due, I know, like, I went to my dad's with Dad, and when he hit it, I went, oh my God, what a goal. You know, you don't want to say it, but I didn't think he was going to hit it from me. I know Gary Alexander's goal was unreal.
Yeah, there you go. There's the answer coming through.
Yeah.
Old Beavers.
It was an equaliser, wasn't it? Was it an equal or 2-1? 2-1, I think he made it, didn't he? Yeah. Then they got another, didn't they?
Third. That's right. Yeah.
But he was talking about that, wasn't he? Lee Gregory with Chris on his recent show, which is brilliant. If anybody's not watched it yet, a great show with Gregors. And really good. He was saying that final. When you look back, what a team Barnsley had. They had a bloody team there, didn't they?
It's really true. Yeah. They're that Hamill, didn't they? Is it Hamill?
Yes.
Good player,
very good midfielder. Well, he scored a cracker, didn't he?
Yeah, exactly. Sure next question. Question 10. So since 2010, how many different Mill managers have there been?
Cool. Fucking hell. Jesus. Actually.
So the last last 15 years, you can say, can't you? Yeah. So.
Oh, gee.
I'll start you off. We've got Lomas Key Jacket.
Yeah.
So Chris Brown's gone for 8.
1, 2, 3, 4.
3.
Any more in the chat? Any more from 8? Any ideas?
7. I'll try 7.
I'll go 7. Magnificent 7.
7, 8, 7.
Does Bomber count as 1 or 2?
No, 2.
Well, I guess technically it's 3, isn't it? But I think it's 1. It'd be 1, wouldn't it? Oh,
gone wrong.
Right, so we've got 8. We've got 9 from Alex. 8 from Alex.
Good question.
8.
Good question.
Right. Any more in the chat? Any more coming through? The answer is, believe it or not, 10.
Wow. Right.
10. So we've got Kenny Jackett, Steve Lomas, Neil Harris, Scott Fitzgerald, Ian Holloway, Alan Barrett was also manager, caretaker manager. Gary Rowley.
You didn't say caretakers. Come on.
Joe Edwards, Dave Livermore, and Alex Neil.
Yeah, I forgot about the
caretakers. Dear me.
Exactly. Next
You
question.
can't have
What colour?
Fitzgerald and Adam Barrett, so it's 8.
Does Holloway count?
Anyone who said
12?
8's right.
He brought in that many forward subs in a game. Exactly.
It's unbelievable.
Next question. What colour was the 2019-2020 away shirt? Come on, let's go. In the chat.
Yellow.
Well done, Bully. He's got it right.
Well done, Bully.
Yellow, well done.
Yeah, Chow there.
Question 12. How
Was
many
it the one with
games?
the stripes on? Was it the one with the stripes on as well?
One, yeah.
It was. I just remember it being yellow going and went away.
Yeah. How many league games did Neil Harris manage combined in his 3 spells as manager between 2013 and 2024? I've got 3 answers here. We've got 265, 283, or 297.
I'll go the 83.
I'm going down the middle. I'm going down the middle with Ronnie.
You got 83 as well. Anyone in the chat want to give an answer before we give the answers out? We're going to go 65, 83, or 97. Right. Too slow. The answer is 283. Well done, Ronnie. Well done, Disco. Alex S got it right. Well done, Alex. Jeff, unlucky, mate. Unlucky, Chris.
Chris and Jeff, hit the post there, lads.
Yeah. Right. What is the capacity of the Den? Is it 19,567? Is it 20,146? Or 1,352? So is it 19,000, 20,000, or 21,000? What's the capacity of the Den?
I'm confident.
You go 20?
I'm going in the middle against them.
Where you go for Disco? You go for 20 as well?
Yeah, down the middle.
Darren's going for 20. You're going for 20. Alex S is going for 20. Chris Brown's going for 20.
We had this at Christmas. Chris's quiz.
No, we didn't.
And he knew the answer.
Disco, I'm struggling for questions, all right? Don't give it away. Jeff,
no, the next one is
name
them. Name them all.
Yes, exactly. Name every fan. You're absolutely spot on. That is the correct answer. Well done, Gary. Well done, guys. Boys. Next question. In 2011, we've only got 3 more questions left. In 2011, what was the East Stand of the Den officially named?
East Stand.
The East Stand.
Yeah.
What's the name given to the East Stand?
Was it up there?
Anyone in the everyone's doing this at the moment. They try to work out where the north, south, east, west.
I sat on that bench enough and I stared at
it. There you go, Alex S. Go for Dockers.
Dockers,
Go for Dockers stand. Chris Brown go for Dockers. Well done, Chris. Well done, Colin. Oh, right. The Dormers. Is that a typo there, Chris?
He's typing so quickly.
Yeah, exactly. Well done, boys. Well done. Next question. Question 15. Who made the most penalty saves between Tony Warner, David Ford, and Bartosz Białkowski?
It's another Christmas one, Joe. Come on, Ronnie. Come on, Ronnie.
I got to back my mate, haven't
I? You got to back your mate.
I've got to back my mate, haven't I?
So you go for Denzel, or Disco? And Ronnie?
Yeah.
You go for Disco.
It's all
about Disco.
I'm going for Fordy.
Is it Fordy, yeah?
Yeah, he was a good penalty. He saved one against us as well.
Just gone for
Swansea.
Fordy. Well done.
Yeah, Fordy.
Everyone's got that right. It is. So Fordy made 10 penalty saves in his career for Millwall. Denzel made 8 penalty saves. And Bart Białkowski made 4 penalty saves during his career.
You know why? He had a good defence, never giving penalties away, mate.
That's what it was. He was protected, weren't he? He was protected. Right.
Would you take one, Ronnie? Would you take a pen?
This is the God's honest truth, all right? Remember we played Ruston and Diamonds in the League Cup. It went to penalties, didn't it? And I needed a piss. And I want to take a penalty. And you know what? I come out and I said, I want to take a penalty. But because I've run off, I think they might have thought, shit myself. I I was like, I come out and they give it to Charlie Earn. And poor Charlie Earn missed. I thought, what a touch.
Oh, he was the youngster, weren't he? Yeah. What a touch.
What a touch. And what like that? Because he took the last penalty, I think. Poor kid going up. Listen, you got to have a lot of nerve. And I always wanted to take like a penalty. And I just thought, and I remember Portsmouth away. And we were losing 3-1 or I think it's 3-1. Steve, someone got brought down. I picked the ball up. I went, I'm taking this pen. And Cladger went, no, I wanted to take it. I was thinking, like, I was in that mood, like, come on, like, get back in this game. And he took it off me. And he went to me, I want a goal bonus. I went, fuck you.
I want a goal bonus.
He missed it.
Oh, bonus. I was like that. I was like, you bastard. I was like that. I called him every name under the sun. It was a terrible penalty as well.
Yeah.
And I remember just he'd give me the look, and I looked at him, and I was like, "You old bastard!" I went, "Right, you can't even kick it 12 yards." I went.
He probably had a bet on himself to miss. That's what it was. He had 20-1 to miss.
Probably. Right, last question, Disco. You might know the answer to this, so if you do, don't say it.
All right.
Which Millwall manager who has managed more than 10 games for Millwall has the highest win percentage in the last 25 years?
I think I know.
Yeah. Ronnie,
Kenny Jackett.
Stab.
Oh,
you reckon Kenny Jackett?
No.
What about you, Ronnie?
I said Kenny Jackett.
I used to Kenny Jackett. I thought it was Disco saying that. You're going Kenny Jackett.
No, I haven't. I think it's a toss-up between him and Bomber. So one.
Oh, sorry. Chop had a good one.
Yeah.
I think it is Cage. I think this is another Christmas one.
In the chat, put it in there. Who's got the best win percentage in the last 25 years? In the chat, put your answers down.
I can't see any comments. Nobody putting any in.
While we're waiting, guys, can we please make sure you haven't subscribed yet to the channel? Please subscribe, like the channel, do all that stuff, because as you know, everything we make to this channel goes to Cancer Research UK. So by you liking, subscribing, and commenting, all that stuff, all helps with the algorithms. We make more money, and all the money goes to Cancer Research UK. So, guys, if you haven't done it already, please do it. Got some answers coming through. Got Kenny Jackett from Alex S. Jeff is going for Steve Lomas.
I love that.
Yeah. Dave Turner went for Williams and Pearce.
That's 100% record. Yeah.
Is that 100% or was it 50%?
Dave Tuttle.
Oh, yeah, and Tuttle. Was he in charge once, wasn't he, as well?
Yeah, he was.
You're right.
He had 2 games, didn't he, Tuttle?
Yeah, Tuts. Because
he was.
I thought they only did the one.
Jeff Cook's gone for McGee.
I don't think McGee, no.
Strangely, even though we were a good
No,
team.
that's what I mean. What you see that? I'd say, that's why.
Right, do you want the answer? The answer with a win percentage of 45.73 is, you go kick yourself, Ronnie, Mark McGee.
No way.
Oh, wow. Oh,
yeah, Mark McGee's got the highest win percentage. Second, with 42.86, is Neil Harris. And third, with 42.81, very, very close, is Kenny Jackett. So the guy with the highest win percentage is Mark McGee. There you go.
We won a league, didn't he? And then he won a league and then pushed us to the top of it again.
That's it. And he fucked off on a high, didn't he, after that? Pretty much. Ask any further.
Ask the bonus question, the one about our record-breaking unbeaten at home record.
Oh yes, yeah.
Remember that one? That's a good question for the old boys. For the really
old boys. Okay.
Not you, Ronnie. Sorry, mate. We're gonna.
No, no.
You might know the answer when he gets it.
Right. When I get it. The question is: which team ended Millwall's record-breaking run of 59 home games undefeated in the mid-60s?
Go on, Ronnie.
Is it Northern or South? We've got a time.
They were South. They were South team. Southern team.
You played for a team near that way.
Look at the old boys flying.
I can't believe it.
Look at them. Look on the boys. God,
even some of the young ones are coming there. The answer as well. Look.
Come on.
Bloody hell.
Loving it. Look at that.
I'm shocked. I'm shocked. The answer?
More south. Yeah.
Oh, well, what's that?
Plymouth Argyle.
Plymouth.
Really?
I can't believe they all got it right. You sure you're not Google these guys? You been doing the old Googlings, have you?
But imagine that, guys. 59 games unbeaten at home.
Jeff's even got the result. Look, 2-1 loss. 59 games unbeaten.
Wow.
Eh?
I didn't even know that. You know, like that history of that. I've never.
Yeah,
that's great.
You think how many times now? Was it Liverpool took the record, or did some other team take the record?
Liverpool for a couple.
Yeah, everybody knows.
They were unbeaten, weren't they? For
I'm pretty sure. Unless I dreamt this, I'm pretty sure. And guys in the chat, you might know better. I'm pretty sure Millwall hold one of the records for scoring the most amount of goals in one season. I'm not sure how far it goes back. Does it go back to the 70s, maybe?
No, didn't know that.
It might be the 70s. I think they scored the most amount of goals in one season.
You should have that for a question. Keep quiet.
I know.
Yeah, use that Google.
Yeah, exactly. I might use that for the next one.
Liverpool, someone's saying. Yeah,
Liverpool.
Yeah, Scouts bastards.
Ronnie's
sorry.
Sorry.
Right.
Sorry.
That's not the bird from the holiday, is it?
Ron, talk about Scouse bastards. Tell us a story when you going on the car up to Liverpool to watch Liverpool play. You were with Denzel, weren't you?
Yeah, we were.
Listen to this, Disco.
Always fortunate, because of Scouse having that connection. You know, coming through Liverpool, and I remember we got. Without thinking now, we got beat. I'm sure we got beat that day. So anyway, we've left the ground, and Tony had an Audi, what was a flying machine, and he's like booting it up.
Was it bonus on another plate?
Yeah, bonus. For some reason, bonus. Yeah, that was his nickname.
Because he was at Liverpool. It was because he was sitting on the bench all the time. He was getting a bonus.
Yeah, the European Cup nights. Yeah, they were on a great screw, and even quite lucky to meet Neil Ruddock and being with him. And he used to say, because we always used to meet at the same hotel, like what I call the East London boys and the Essex boys. We used to meet at the Swallow Hotel just off the M25 there. What used to be, I think it's now, it was a Marriott, and we used to be there. You meet like the likes of the boys. Like Ruddock was at Palace, Joe Cole, and things at West Ham. And we used to have a laugh. We'll have a drink. Ruddock was terrible. He'd get you pissed up, and you've got to try and get in your car and go home, and then I shouldn't say that on air. You'd have to leave your car, but he'd be drinking Red Bull, and he'd just be buying you loads of. Remember Rolling Rock? He'd just be buying trays of roll, but he'd wait for you, and he'd just have trays of get that down, your son, love it, love Millwall, and he'd just be telling you stories about things. But going back to that, going back to Liverpool, we've got stuck on the M1, all right. So he's like that to me. He's like, remember them days? There's no sat nav.
No.
So, and I remember Man City were next. I don't know if we played Man City, as in all the coaches with the team. They're getting off. The whole road's knackered. So he went to get out, Bully, and tell them move up, the cars. So I'm like, so we ain't going anywhere, mate. What are you going on about? He's like, tell him reverse up and tell her to fucking move forward. We're going back down the He went, we're having a night tonight, and he just went bang. He slipped it. He drove down the hard shoulder.
The hard shoulder.
He slipped off somewhere. We end up in McDonald's, all right? And he went, come on. He was like, we're at McDonald's. He went, can you read a map? I'm thinking, mate, I can't even read or write. What are you going on about? Can you read a map? I just oh, then why? He went, we're having it. So I've got this big map open like that. I went, time you got to have the B128 or something like that. Flying down his roads. We got up there.
Before you got there, Ron, the phone goes, isn't it?
Oh, yes, sorry, yeah. And anyway, so the phone rings, and he's got the plug-in Nokia, and it says JB on it. So I can see that. And he's talking, he went like that. He said, how are you getting on? Bonus, where are you? And he said, we're about another half hour, like John. So I'm like that. He said, have you got the young fella with you? And I was like, and I went, I said, he went, it's John Barnes. I went, shut up. I went I started having him off, on the phone like that. I went, that's probably some scarce idiot, you know what I mean? So anyway, we pulled up at the Blue Bar down in the docks. He got out. We're getting changed in the motor, by the way. We're getting changed because we're in a suit, from the game.
Oh, God.
Anyway, we've gone in there. He said, yes. He started chatting. He went, go upstairs. So I've gone upstairs, and at the time he was with Lizzie. Lizzie took the car, and we were just in town. He was like, come on, you shut upstairs. I just want to say hello to someone. So as I've gone upstairs, I'm there, and as I've walked across, John Barnes is sitting there. And he's got the liveliest gear on as well, a sequin shirt. It was naughty. I was like, I didn't care. He just got up, he gave me a big hug and like a big kiss and cuddle. You're right, son. He said, you're up here for your Merseyside derby tomorrow. And he said, before you do that, he said, you're going to have a night to live, like to die for, mate. And I'm telling you what a night we had in Liverpool. Unreal.
Good night out, Liverpool.
It was unreal. And he looked like that. He was fantastic. And
what other players were there at the time? Do you know what other Liverpool players there at the time?
Oh no, that night it was just John Barnes. It was the next night what got even better. And,
was it? Was this after the game?
Yeah, like after the game, and then Liverpool ended up winning, and they signed Nick Barmby. I know Millwall showed
Nick Barmby from
Tottenham. Yeah. And I remember that was like I'd never seen that before, like up there, because they all walk around together going into a game, and like there's banter flying around, like shit, you're this, you're that. You know what I mean? You're not a real Scouser and all that. You know what I mean? And he scored one of the goals, and they ended up winning 2-1. And I'll tell you what, it was just the liveliest place. And then when we went back to the Blue Bar, Tony went, wait till you see what happens here. And it was Robbie Fowler's Wet the Baby's Head. He had a baby, his missus had a baby. Everyone was over. I remember I had him in headlock and Steve McManaman's dad. I had him in headlock. I was steaming. I was on the double brandings. Mate.
What a night.
Everyone was in there from Hippie or Stevie G, like that. You're looking around, everyone went there for Robbie Fowler, and it was just great. And mate, we had to get honestly like crowbarred out of there because I weren't going. And I remember before Lizzie drove back that night, me and Scouts were battered in the motor. We had to go training the next day. We were just non-existent. You know what I mean? I think Mark McGee had half an inkling that we was up in Scousland, like having till this day. It was John Barnes. You know what I mean? In the 80s, I wanted his Barnes.
How did you do it though? Like to do all
it was
that?
It was just such a great, just a great. Even being the Merseyside derby, like he went to wait till you go in here. He said the atmosphere here, wait till you hear this, and it was airs on the back of your neck, and it was great, like to see that, and then have that party after, but. There's no better place than going Tenerife when you win the league.
And was Tony on the bench for them when they had the famous white suit?
Yeah, he's got that suit.
Cream suit.
He's got that suit.
Yeah, he's got
that. He's got that.
He said,
you should bang that out. I said,
I know, auction off. But David James was number one goalkeeper at the time. He was number two to David James, wasn't he?
Yeah, and you know what? Remember, what they called him, Calamity Jane or something?
Yeah, Calamity James. Yeah.
I said to him one day, and I said, "Listen, big man, don't hit me, all right?" I said, "But David James was having a shocker." I said, "What the fuck was he doing? Was he sucking off Roy Evans or something?" Because I said, "Mate," or the other thing is, I went, "You were worse than him." He went, "Yeah."
That's true, actually.
It's just to get a little bit in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I was probably about 40 yards away when I told him that. But I used to have a banter. I went, he was dropping clangers everywhere, throwing them in against Man United. From Beckham.
Didn't Denzel have a massive punch up with Collymore?
Yeah, Collymore.
When he was at Liverpool, weren't he? Apparently,
give it to him.
In the canteen or something. They
were having dinner. They were having dinner away. Tony was making his debut that night as well. He's making his debuts in the hotel, and Neil Ruddock told me the story as well. And he said they all wanted to give Stan a filling in because he was like.
Everyone hated him, didn't they? Yeah.
Yeah, it was like big time Charlie in that way. Like, listen, I didn't know him, so I'm only can hear what stories are. So, in that way,
of course.
They were all getting annoyed with him, like you're at Liverpool, mate. Like, there's rules here. You know what I mean? This ain't no fucking coming out in trainers to training. You're fucking a professional football player. You're playing a game. You ain't wearing trainers on the pitch because you've got a blister, slipping over, and people getting things like that. Anyway, he said the joke what people used to do is they knew Tony was playing that night. Someone put a load of water on the seat. So he's gone and got his bit of dinner, come to sit down, and he noticed something ain't right by just expressions on people's face. So he thought, fuck that chair. So he just swapped it with Stan's chair, and he just
not knowing it was Stan's chair, just swapped it over.
Yeah, just swapped it over, and he just said so he just sat down, started having and Stan come over, why the fuck are you sitting there, Get up.
Yeah.
Like, tried to, like, in other words, bully him and bitch him.
Really?
And listen, give him his due. I know Stan's a big lump as well, but
yeah,
you know what I mean? He must have thought he's a bit younger than him. He just like, Scouse never had none of it, mate. And he said, I just started, like, just fucking got up. And he said, I think he tried to swing for him. And he said, I just fucking filled him in quickly. But he said, Roy Evans got in the middle. And he said, me and him, like, squashed him, you know, like that. And, he said, and like, his score was scared. He said, like, he's like half dying in the middle, like, and I think trying to pull him apart.
Apparently, sorry, Ron, I heard Ron say in one of his interviews that apparently, because no one likes Stan Collymore, they were trying to break up and they're pretending to, but letting Denzel get a few things in first, didn't they? Before they kind of pulled him off.
Razor stuck one on him. Razor stuck one on Stan.
Did he?
Like, get off Tone and went wallop.
Apparently, Disco, that's what they do. They'll let him hammer Stan Collymore a little bit before pretending to take him off. They weren't actually taking him off, were they?
No, they were just started all like giving him an eye, like get off him and still filling him in. Like, he said, right, I think it went off, it calmed down, and I think then Stan tried to throw a cheeky one on him, and he said it just erupted again. And he said that's when like all the like Razor and all that got involved, and they were just filling in for Stan.
I mean, back in the day, like I'm quite tall. I'm about 6'2", 6'3", and even I look up to Denzel. Like he's just like a tower, isn't he? Like,
when he used to fit through the doors, like in the canteen. That used to be so funny. The canteen was a little bit smaller than normal doors, and it just made me laugh at the swing door, and I just started laughing. But that's what I mean. When you got like people like him, Willie Garrett was a big fella, you know.
It's wide.
That's what I mean. Like, and when you see that, you think, like, he's a lump. Like,
do you remember? Was you there when Mark McGee said to Denzel that he's going to give Willie Garrett a 10-game run?
I sat on the bench with Tony most of it.
He was fuming. And the thing was, Willie Garrett was getting a clean sheet after, I think he had 8 clean sheets out of those 10 games.
Yeah, I remember that.
Kept nudging him. I remember Colchester away and he pulled off a couple of weldies and I'd give the big man a nudge. I went, looking at you and you carry on. Like, you know, he's pulling them out of everywhere here. He just looked at me.
Willie Garrett.
What a number 2 keeper to have, though, isn't it? Like,
quality, you know, when you're saying about having 4 strikers, we had 2 really good goalkeepers. Yeah. And it probably went. I know Matty probably had that right back locked. Yeah, Matty had the right back locked. Because did we have a right back? I can't really remember. You know,
Birch was a fill-in, didn't he, sometimes?
Did he? That's it. So that's where it is. Birchie slipped in there. Robbie, myself there, you know, like, you had a pick or choose there. Centre half, Dicey was centre half. Nevers, Waldy when we signed Waldy, and on
the wingers, you had Ives, you had Reedy, you had Kinnett as well. Yeah, because when Kinnett come in, they kept rotating, didn't they, a little bit?
Yeah, and even like that's what I said. Reedy could play anywhere across that.
Lucas Neal.
He was a surprise player. A lot of people ask me that, right? But get a lot of West Ham speak, like my mates and all that, and what was he like? And I said, can I tell you the truth? Like I said, see, Lukey, I've known Lukey, again, being blessed to be in a youth team or be involved in a youth team, was a lot younger. Coming, he was playing international football, mate, at like 16, 17 for Australia.
Really?
I didn't see him for 2 weeks when I signed. They were all about this Lucas Neal. Mate, he's been away with Australia. You know, like, he was like, but I just don't. Lukey wanted to play centre midfield. Right. But well, I think he was a centre midfield player, him and Birch.
Right.
Mark McGee always fancied him as a right back.
Yeah.
But when we signed Matty, or right winger. But then it was like he didn't want to play there. And again, when Ray Hartford gets you in a headlock and tells you can make a living at playing right back, by the way, Blackburn Rovers are looking at you when you've not played a handful of games this season. I remember him going, and mate, the next thing you know, I remember that time. Remember the car, the X5. No one had any of them. He could come back to the training ground, big purple one. Everyone was like still flying around in Fiestas and all that. I think I still was anyway on my career, but I was like, what I'm trying to say, he changed overnight.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Matty Lawrence is keeping him out of the team. And there's no disrespect to him.
Yeah,
Mark Merchant, Paul Eiffel, Timmy Cale, David Livermore. But next thing you know, he's been told he's going to go play right back for Blackburn Rovers. What do you do?
Yeah.
Look at the career you go.
That was the weird thing about it. Because I remember him moaning about not wanting to play right back, but then he ends up going to Blackburn and plays the right back, doesn't he?
There you go.
Exactly.
It's almost like, you know.
There you go.
So
Well, that's what I'm thinking. You think you're a better player at Millwall to play. So of course, have them levels you think you are. But there's people like Ray, Graham Souness, Mark McGee. No, you're a real deal as a right back. And he was a machine, Luke. He a machine, like he big, powerful.
Was you there when Kevin Davies signed? Online?
Yeah, I liked him. Did
you? Is it? Go on.
No, I was with at the weekend when we went Watford. I was with Chris Day. He played for Millwall, didn't he? Chris Day.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah, at Watford, come through with Darren Ward, Alec Chamberlain, one of the old dogs. You know what I mean? Like, had a great career. I think he played 800 odd games. Alec, right? And I was with them. I was having a chat with them, and we were saying, hold on, my head's gone blank now because I'm thinking about the Watford game.
So with Kevin Davies,
No, Davis, and he knows him, all right? And I said, you know, when he come in, what a love, you know what a good player. As in, we don't move to Blackburn for £7.5 million, all right?
Yeah.
But he played centre back in a reserve game with me, and he was unreal. Like, really? I'm talking, like, jumping up like with another centre forward.
Yeah, he had a massive forehead, didn't he?
Getting it down on his chest, and he was popping it about. And I was like, mate, you're a striker. What are you doing at centre half? I think he just played that. He ended up playing centre half, someone told me late on. But he went, and that's what he said. I think when Allardyce got him at Bolton, he was unreal. And a lot of people say that was one of the hardest players to play against. But I remember I used to ask him questions, like, because I was a bit younger, like, and I'd like, have you really got a Ferrari? Like, and he
the Ferrari. Did he bring it in, did he? Apparently,
Millwall fans wanted to kill him. Like, you know,
I know.
He wrapped it in and coming, like, I was like, wow.
But did
Ferrari.
I think a few of the players, they took a lot of offence to it. Even they thought, like, who's this, like, big chips?
Yeah, he weren't like that. He weren't like that at all.
Really?
No, he don't. I live up in Bolton, Ronnie. So I tell you now, they absolutely adore him up here. And he went there after us. He went there. We missed an opportunity, and I met him on a train going into Manchester once. You could not meet a nicer bloke.
Honestly, he was
lovely
great.
Fella.
Like, even myself, remember he went to Blackburn, didn't hit it off.
Yes.
You know, and I was in the team at the time. I had a great season. The next season, I was not in the team, and I was getting a bit down. And he said, "Listen, keep your head down. It'll come. If it ain't going to come out, it will come somewhere else." But I didn't really want to listen to that. I wanted it to come here. You know what I mean? Because being at Millwall, but with him, but everyone you speak to speaks very highly of him. You know, as in a person. But the worst thing is, all right, I found out a little bit later, he had a yacht. It was him and Ryan Giggs, all right? The only two players.
Absolutely loaded, weren't he?
Mate, I heard stories and I was like, mate, I'd have been, let me borrow that for the weekend.
Can you imagine you lot? All you lot on the old fucking boat.
He did, and I remember, this is another story about the yachts, right? You know, the PFA, they used to send out these magazines, all right? And Sean Dyche was our PFA rep, and Bobby Barnes come in. And when you used to open it up, mate, it had like Rolex watches, you know, like that, apartments in Marbella. So that was just starting. La Manga was the place everyone was like, these things. This PFA book, I remember Sean Dyche was getting them. There was about 30 of them. And he was just throwing them at Bobby Barnes, saying, you can take that shit. He said, that ain't us. He said, fucking hell. He said, he's going Benidorm in a couple of weeks. He's going down to he's going back up north. And you're telling me, like, you're going to buy a fucking yacht. And on the back of it is a luxury yacht. Like, and I was like, fucking days like this Friday. He said, we're fucking Division 2 players, Championship. We weren't
all the magazines away
on there or anything like that. You get a second hand. I remember him just going, he was having a laugh with Bobby Barnes at the same time. Like, he said, magazines down here. Like, it was just, it was great. It was great.
Was you there when we signed Johnson? What's his name from West Ham?
Mate, yeah.
What's his name?
He was,
what's his name?
Glenn Johnson.
Glenn Johnson.
The fullback, Glenn. Yeah.
Him and Ben May were best mates growing up. And and they used to live around the corner. And so he was always around, you know, like in that way. He was a good few years younger than me. And when we got him, he was just a strong kid. he was already formed as in like a pro. He had the legs, the body. Mate, he was just a machine. And when he was, I think he played about 6 games with us, and
just quality.
Yeah, he was ready. He was ready for the next level, or that go to that level to go again. And what a career he went and had. You know what I mean?
God, played for England how many times, didn't he? Liverpool.
I remember he used to come back. All right, he played the 6 games with us, and he literally went back to West Ham, and he come and sat in our car park for 2 weeks playing PlayStation in the back of his X5. He was waiting for the move to Chelsea.
Really? Oh my God!
He had a PlayStation in the back of the X5, and he used to come in Benin, and he'd wait there because they were going to get serious money for the kid.
Yeah.
Like, I was thinking, like, why aren't you back playing with West Ham? But I think there was a fee already agreed. He went back and played 2 or 3 games for West Ham, and then he got, if without looking on a fee, but he was in our, I remember, and I went, why aren't you playing? And he went, I said, I'm moving to Chelsea. So I'm moving to Chelsea. I was like, what, you've played 6 games at the Wall?
And you got your move. Yeah. Was you there when Cherno Samba was breaking through? But
yes,
quite play,
did he? Cherno and Goma, both them
Goma,
two. Good lads.
If you played Football Manager back in the day, he was like the wonder kid, weren't he? He was going to make it, and the rumours were, if you remember, Liverpool were going to sign for £2 million, weren't they? But Millwall turned it down, didn't they?
Yeah, he went there. He trained. He told us.
Oh, what was he like? When you trained against him, what was he like? Was he any good? You ever train with him?
Yeah, what I see with Cherno, and I've seen it with a lot of lads growing up, even through our age group. When I was, the age group I grew up in, it was very blessed with. It went on and filtered a Premiership in an England team. Yeah. But literally, them boys there, he was always bigger than all of his own. If you get what I mean.
Is it a dodgy passport then, do you reckon? Maybe, or what?
No, you know what? We went and watched him when he was playing in the youth, not the youth team, like in the under-15s and that. And he come up and trained with us. Yeah. And he was like already my height. You know, like when he was like 14. And I'm not saying I was never the biggest, and then you look at him, but then when he come into the youth team, people just caught up with him.
Yeah.
Because remember, he was a lot younger than me. So
got found out a bit then. Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't mean to say it was wrong. Like I said, when Glenn Johnson turned up at that age of 18, if you put him against Cherno, he looked a man. He would just whip it. He would just chew him up. I never said he wasn't good. Yeah. He wasn't formed from the young age. He was at his age group. Wow.
Yeah.
And what he would have done as a kid, his numbers were second to none.
Coming through so many goals, didn't he?
But I don't mean it horribly. Millwall should have looked at it, and that's no slagging Millwall's like anyone who's involved in the what is it, academy or whatever it was. You know what I mean? A youth development squad. Yeah. Thought, you know what? Let's take $1 million for this kid with a load of add-ons.
That's right. Get rid of it. Move him on. Get the money. Yeah.
Move him on. And is it being greedy? You had an asset there. Take the money while you can.
Yeah.
It's a tricky one, though, isn't it, Ronnie? That the fans are pissed off then, aren't they? That we're not ambitious and this, that, and the other. And we're moving into that sort of model now, actually, aren't we? Where we bring through youngsters and sell them on, you know. And I think
got a nice question here from Born Free, Die Free, said that this has been one of the best Wall pods ever. Cheers, gents. Come on, people. Thumbs up. Nice one, Born Free. Appreciate it, mate. Thank you very, very much. Just very quick in the older, where are we? Ooh. Bonus question: who scored the last ever Football League goal of the 20th century?
Oh,
Morrison.
That is a good question.
Apparently, if it's true or not, the answer was Livers. Apparently, against Brentford.
Do you know? Just anyone. I just for anyone.
The last Football League goal of the 20th century was.
That rings a bell now. And what?
Yes, it would have been.
Yeah.
Yes. Who beat Tranmere 5-0, which got JB the sack as their manager? Was it Tranmere we beat, or was it Oldham? I can't remember. I know we won 5-0, didn't we?
What, the last game when it really scored that rocket?
Last game of the season, I think it was, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, he scored that rocket, really. Wow.
Yeah. Brilliant. I think Clarence scored a curler as well, didn't he, edge of the box?
Yeah. Took about a week to go in.
Yeah. I thought Lucas left wing. I think Lucas played left wing, right wing, centre mid, right back. He could go anywhere. Yeah. Davies never jumped, apparently.
Yeah, I know what he means. I know what he means with that for us. He had a funny way, but he was a good.
He was quite a heavy guy.
You know what? You know why he didn't jump?
Why?
He had his money belt on, mate, when he come to
us. He had his Ferrari keys in his pocket.
Exactly. His money pack on one side, and his keys in the other pocket. Yeah.
Good boy.
Here you go, Ron. What player, in your opinion, from that team never fulfilled their potential? I mean, obviously, sadly, you could argue didn't do it because of injury. But any young players you played with, you thought, you know what, they could have done better than they should have done?
Listen, I put my hand up there, and I'm honest. Should have fulfilled a lot more for what I come with as a young kid.
Especially playing
coming through the youth
at a young age.
Yeah, even coming up like with the likes who the players have come up with, and everyone went on to pro clubs. Yes, I think I did break my ankle, but that ain't no excuse because I still went on and played 4 years later and blah blah blah. But I should have done more. Yeah, I should have done more. And listen, I'm not going to cry over it now, but look back at it. Should have done played a lot more for Millwall in them years I was there. Yeah. But I can't change anything now. Maybe again, when we said about a manager putting an arm around you and guiding you in another way, but that's it. I'm not going to say, but no, go in there. Who could? But you can't really. Like people went on to have careers as well, but. No, you could say like even with Lucas, he should have played more because he was very gifted.
Yeah, you're right. Nice comment there from Mill. Striking goal, find this live. You're welcome, Mill. Nice for you to join us, mate. Jeff Cook said definitely so entertaining. Bully is brilliant. Oh, cheers, Jeff.
Thank you, Jeff.
Craig says that Bully. What do you think of the Roberts? Bullets. Bet you see a lot worse.
Is it
the bullshit? Yeah,
6-game ban.
You've seen all that. You've seen all that. The incident where he kicks Mateta accidentally in the ear, doesn't he? But against the Palace game.
Whoa! The other way. Listen, I couldn't believe. I was listening to people on Talk Sport, how can you give someone an extra band?
Yeah.
If that states the law, listen,
6 games. Got
Suarez
3 games.
People,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Look, is he a player what goes around and does that? The game's not got players like that anymore.
No.
You know what I mean? I don't. Yeah, people lose their head, but it's 10 minutes into a game. I can't see him going around to clean everyone out, because it don't work like it. Even saying it last night, how Bellingham stayed on the pitch. In my eyes, he should have been sent off because the letter of the law.
It was in the second yellow, wasn't it?
Second yellow. Yeah, you're right.
I know. Going back to what he's just said there, listen, Craig, I'm not. He's done what he's done. The kid's been sent off. Club are out of a chance of making money. It's a derby for us.
Correct.
We've got a good record here as well. I can't see him doing that, like out of his head, wants to kill that player. In other words, because that's what people put it down to, and so did their chairman.
Exactly.
It looked like he was at half time.
But Ronnie, listening to some of the experts and ex-pros, they're baying for blood, and you're like, what are you talking about? Not a common sense like you're saying there.
Again, though, is it that thing? It's Millwall. If there's any other club, he would have got the sentence, but because it's Millwall, they've got to come down at a ton of bricks, didn't they?
I remember playing a game against Gillingham on an Easter weekend. We played Burnley away, and I think we got tanked at Burnley with Rhino. And then we played back on the Easter Monday. We played Gillingham at home, and when we drew 2-2, and I think Andy Essertyler scored an absolute weldy.
Right. He was a player back in the day,
and he was probably about 44 at that age. You know what I mean? But he was a lovely fella as well.
He looked it as well.
But you know what? I remember. Do you remember Junior Lewis went on and had a career with Leicester, centre midfield? Remember him, Junior Lewis?
Yeah.
Yeah, he did. He went on. I think he had a good career, And I remember I took off in one half and landed in the other, and I 2-footed him. And I swear to God, and Heston was going, well, got a tackle. But I remember I jumped into theirs, dead straight and full on.
Jesus. And
I just always
and Heston said, what a tackle.
Didn't even blow for a free kick. It was just like a big car crash, ball in the middle, boom. I remember just jumping straight up in the air and down with 2 feet. And it weren't, again, to hurt him, but it was just to take everything.
To win that ball,
Yeah, and I was thinking, I know it can be a career-threatening tackle, but I looked at it, then look at his one. I'm thinking he's gone through the ball,
to clear it.
Right, he's a big fella. But to get a 6-game ban, Luis Suarez bit someone like and got that, the first time, or someone giving someone a proper right-hander, like.
Yeah.
Exactly.
What's he had now?
Personally,
4? Is it 1? Is it 5 on Saturday, and then he's got 1, or is it 4 on Saturday? Has he had 3 now?
I think he's had 3 now, hasn't he? So it's at 4 this Saturday.
4 Saturday and another.
More.
Yeah, I think Pompey and whatever.
Listen, I look
Sheffield
at it,
United. I think Sheffield United, and then he's back after that.
Yeah.
If he catches him in the face, if he catches him in the face, I understand what could have happened, all right? But I still don't believe he meant to go and do that.
No, you're right.
And then someone said it was a foul.
Chandler question, Joe.
Sorry, mate.
Yeah. Get the Jeff Chandler question to Ronnie.
Yeah.
Similar to what you just said. But I don't think
it's this one here. Ronnie, what was your favourite 50-50 tackle playing for Millwall, and what player was it? I think did you answer that one? Did you, Ron?
Well, it weren't 50-50 by the sound of it.
It's probably 60-40 in favour of Lewis, and Ronnie's gone in there 2 foot.
Remember Stuart McCaw? He's a
Scottish guy. Yeah,
Scottish guy. Remember that was that night at Bradford, all right?
At Bradford,
He tried to push it past me, and I just thought, "You're 149." I went to an FA Cup final, turn it in. I absolutely scissored him, all right, and I admit it. And I probably done it, and I meant to. He tried to push it past me. You've got a worse hairdo than me. You might be ginger, but
there you go.
Listen, the funniest thing I've ever seen.
There's
2 funny things. No, listen, there's 2 funny things, all right, with it. Remember when he fell off the car? And when he was on the booze at Bradford? And then when he tried to push the ball past me, I was thinking, are you serious? Like, and I proper snapped him, right? I've done him, right? And he was angry. And I went to him, you're trying to push the ball past me, you old bastard. That is my favourite word to people, you old bastard.
You old bastard.
I always remember that. Push it past me. Oh, I don't. That one was more fun.
Didn't he get the ump when we beat Bradford in the playoff final as well? Didn't some fans give him some stick then? And he
got at him.
He wasn't happy then, was he? So he hasn't got a very good relationship.
Yeah, he got a track record. Alex S just said no. The game he was referred to was Tranmere. Apparently, we beat Tranmere in the league 5-0, and Barnes and McAteer got the sack after.
Did they?
I don't remember that one, do you, Ron?
No, I don't remember that.
No, I must have been injured or something.
Alex has got a great. Alex got a good memory. To be fair, he's. I
didn't know that.
Yeah, Sad's probably even though it's not his faults. Where is it? So thanks. Another great show, and Ronnie, thanks again for the funny stories. Colin Taylor said.
Brilliant.
No, thank you, Colin.
So Carl Bracer says that no player would never hurt another professional player. Exactly. Chris Brown says, Ronnie, what player did you hate playing against the most?
Who could I say? Paul Eiffel, probably. If you were in the reserves and you would go team shape, because you'd bounce them off your knees and do things. But what would I say? It would give me a little bit of a torrid. I played Kevin Betsy at Fulham.
Kevin
Betsy. And he played for Wickham. I think he was at Wickham, and I got on me. He gave me a run around one game, mate. And and you know what? I remember he always stayed in my head, and I thought every time I played against him, I'm not saying it, I did used to try and get him early doors, and just let him know you ain't doing it. He'd give me a torrid. You just know when someone's giving you a good you've had a game, and he just kept coming back. Yeah, he didn't.
So how often did you play against him? How often would you say you play against him then? A few times?
Well, I probably could. He probably only played against one because I got him a move because he tore me up that much. He got a lot of moves. I think.
You got him a big move to the Premiership. You're part of
Copped him on his way down again. Copped him on his way down again when his legs were gone and I could get near him. But no, seriously, he gave me a good run around one day. It might have been for Fulham, I just remember that against him. He was a tough character. Say it like that. I told you when I met Reedy when I was younger, and for Surrey
versus London.
Yeah, mate. He gave me a good I was surprised. I thought he's a Surrey boy. We run these over. We had a very good London side, and he kept coming back for more. And I loved his attitude. And then I was so lucky to end up being in the same team.
I've heard it before, buddy, but just for the listeners that were on the show, who was in the London team that you were playing with at the time?
God, mate. You know what? There's players who couldn't get in it, and who went on. Not to say because he was young, but we had John Terry, Ledley King, Scott Parker, Ashley Carl, J. Lloyd Samuels, the rest of his soul, Paul Konchesky. Scott Parker was always kept away because he was the golden child. Could only play so many, but he was there.
Was Ashley Cole on that team as well?
Yeah, Ash was, and I don't mean this horribly. He was a striker, so he was on the bench, and you had he was on the bench a lot. And no disrespect to him, look, God, the best left back in the world. You know, like what he went. But when he again been told by a manager, you earn a living out of the game if you go left back. And Arsene Wenger goes and makes him, or Crystal Palace, weren't it, when he went on loan there?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Joey, we had a kid there, Joey Little, who become our youth team manager, represented like I think England as a kid. He's a good friend of mine, Joe. He was fantastic. What was Darryl Russell, centre midfield, Norwich?
Yes,
he was
a good player. He was a
powerful kid as well. Mate, but it got even better who you played against. Andrew Johnson, you know, who played for Crystal Palace and Birmingham.
Yes,
there was just loads of them. Gareth Barry. Yeah, he was. You know, when he's a kid, he used to hang off him. He was that skinny and small, but he was lightning.
Yeah, good team.
Mate, it was just Gareth Barry.
Gareth Barry. Gareth Barry was lightning.
Wow.
No, he was. Well, he was very.
He was.
He was another one. Yeah. But they just everywhere you went, there was players who just
names there.
Crouch was another one, but he was like he was
in great company. And what age was this? Like schoolboy level, was it?
Well, we were quite blessed from schoolboy all the way up to 18 when we were like kicking lumps out of each other, like even playing for like the South East counties, because that was the best thing. You had Arsenal, like then you had the two boys who Joe Cole, a year younger, played a year up, and. You know what I mean? Stevie Reid in that, you know, it just kept going, and there was there were just players just coming out of everywhere for it, and it was just we were blessed with that age group. And,
guys, we're probably gonna wrap the live up in about 10 minutes, so I can still see there's quite a lot of you in the live watching at the moment, which is brilliant. Thank you so much for being with us, guys. Get your questions in now. Don't be afraid. Get your questions in before we wrap up, because we've got about 10 minutes before we close things off. Jeff says, absolutely fantastic tonight yet again, Joe and Steve. Nice one, Ronnie, mate. Brilliant stuff. That's from Jeff Chandler.
Thank you, Steve. Yeah, Jeff. Sorry, Jeff. Sorry, thank you.
Cole says, Bully, you have been very funny. I've been crying. Cole says.
Oh, thank you. Joe, can I ask a question to him? Can I ask a question? Yeah, so everyone, I know everyone's going to be different ages, but even to you guys, I'd ask that. Who's the best player have you seen at the Den?
Good question.
In a Millwall shirt.
Great question.
Good question. So, guys, in the chat, me and Disco are going to answer that question. But in the chat, while you're waiting, put in there your best Millwall player ever. You can't say Bully because he's here. Suck up to him. So you can if you want to. You can if you want to. But that guy,
I reckon if he'd have scored that goal when it all opened up for him, then I would have said Ronnie. But as he squared lads, and then I thought, no, he's not for me. Unfortunately, mine. Apart from Robbie Ryan,
touche.
No, I did like Robbie, but no, mine. I don't know if you ever heard. It goes back a bit. Ronnie is Gordon Hill. Back in the 70s, he was a player for Millwall, a winger, and he got sold to Man United. A winger, and he went to Man United. He played for England. Gordon Hill, real character. He's a right character.
Yeah.
He was just my boyhood hero, you know. So
that's quality.
Sort of more modern. Terry Erlock was a big favourite of mine as well. But Gordon Hill is my sort of legend, if you like.
People don't. You see there with Terry, like people don't realise how good he was. You know, everyone thought he was a kicker and a lumper, mate. I was so lucky. I was at Fulham as a kid before I come to Millwall, and he was there. And again, he had a bad break of his leg.
Oh, was he?
And he was there. He went Fulham, And then when I went on loan to Brentford, people spoke about him at Brentford, like when he was there. Did we get him off of Brentford, didn't we?
Yeah,
I think we got him off of Brentford.
From.
Yeah. And people, like even the fans there, when I spoke to fans, they were like, "Oh, Terry, like we got another one from like Millwall, like that," and he said to me, a lot of people spoke very highly of what a player. He just, and then I got a lot of Rangers fans, like and like friends of
they love him.
Yeah,
and when he was they love him up there.
You know what? He wasn't up there. Apparently, he wasn't up there very long at Rangers, but apparently they loved him.
No, injury again.
Yeah.
Injury again.
No,
injury again. I mean,
he got in England's B team under Bobby Robson. You had midfielders then, Wilkins and real top-notch midfielders, and he got in the B team. I think there's a story of him coming into Millwall in his kit or something, where he was
still pissed. That would surprise me, exactly. I think my all-time favourite Millwall player, apart from Ronnie, was probably Tony Cascarino. For me as a kid, I remember being about 9 years old. Yeah, about 9 years old, 10 years old, playing in the park with my mates. Crosses coming in, me heading it, shouting out Cascarino, like saying that I was him. Do you know what I mean? Honestly,
no, I understand that. Yeah,
I did like Mark Kennedy coming through as well, and Ben Thatcher.
Right, yeah,
I was a Ben Thatcher fan. That's why I wanted to sign, because I loved him. I looked at him. I loved that Essex kit. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You turned down places like Tottenham because they didn't have an Essex kit and they didn't have Ben Thatcher, but they signed Ben Thatcher a few years later. Seriously. I was I looked at him. Yeah, I liked him. I did. I liked Ben. Yeah, he was good. To watch.
Chat. So Chris Brown picked Sheringham Bully. Carl Bracey says Super Neil Harris.
Yes.
Mill said Bully isn't on my list.
Hey, good man. There you go.
Colin Ted's gone for Gordon Hill. Jeff Cook's gone for Bomber. Darren went for Teddy. Teddy for Stephen. Merlin from Susie.
That's Gordon Hill. That's Gordon Hill. Merlin, he was called. Yeah. Because he was a magician. Yeah.
Casey Keller.
Casey Keller.
Yeah.
Yes.
Jeff Charler went. No question, Ronnie. It was Carrie Taylor Fletcher. Oh my God. Holloway signed him, Ron, and he was about 3 stone overweight. It was honestly. It was like embarrassing. You see his big Derby hanging out, running around the pitch.
Seriously,
Jobs for the boys, weren't it? He brought him from his Blackpool era. Alex S said, Alex Ray for me, loved him.
Good shout.
Steve Sock said, love Casey Keller. Yeah. Gary said, Ian Dawes for him.
Good player. Ian Dawes. Very underrated player,
Keith Weller, then as Steve said, Gordon Hill.
Keith Weller was fantastic. Yeah.
Here you go, Ron. Born Free just said, can you please come and do this again, Ron?
Oh mate, I'll be underneath again, if we used to. No, but 1,000,000%. I'm sorry, I know.
Yeah.
No. When you said it before, I'm sorry, I ain't been on before that. But I wouldn't mind this. Thank you.
Harris.
I'm just glad we're not paying him by the hour, Joe.
I know. Exactly. But again, what I love about Ronnie is he's giving up his time tonight, lads. He's doing this purely for Cancer Research UK. He knows, obviously, this is going to get us more views, get more likes. So, guys, if you like the show, make sure you like. Please like, hit the like button. And again, everything we make for this show goes to Cancer Research UK. So I appreciate Ronnie giving up your time being with us this evening, mate. I really do appreciate it. Bully would have had some decent nights in Delanos.
The Delanos. Yeah.
Delanos. Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, Delanos. Yeah. Yeah.
You used to go there, do you? Delanos.
That's a knowing smile there, Ronnie.
You could find anyone in there from Millwall, it was just great. The doorman, even the doorman, they just loved us, Really? Robbie Ryan and Richie Sads, they had a season ticket in there, and it just
season
great
ticket.
Night. Great nights. It was just
Big E, friend of the show, Ron. Big E, top guy. He said new players this summer and beyond, and the current team should all have to watch this episode and drive in some Millwallness. Thank you, Sir Ball. I salute you for your services, mate. Top man.
Brilliant.
Thank you. Thank you, Big E. Yeah.
Jeff Charlie says, great shout, Joe. Castle's unbelievable in the air, and for a big guy, he was a good footballer as well.
Yes.
And he was a lefty, Cascarino. He's left-footed as well, although he could use his right foot. And Born Free says, come do this again, please, Bully, and bring Denzel next time. Can you imagine that?
Oh, yeah.
Get Denzel, get Denzel on.
He would.
Funny,
I think he would do it. He would do it.
Ask him, Ron.
Yeah, I'll
see
ask
what he
him.
says. That'd be a laugh. Right, boys. Disco, before we wrap up, anything you want to say to the listeners? We've still got quite a lot on the live at the moment. We're up to 248 this evening.
Bloody hell, fantastic.
Anything you want to say before we say goodbye?
No,
I'm sorry.
Go on, Ron. Go on, mate.
I was going to ask them for another one, like that. What's the most
go on, ask one.
Another question. Go on, another question from Bully. Go on in the chat. Another question, Bully. Go for it.
No, what's the most memorable game, everyone? Like, as I say, like, what for me, I know we got beat that night, but to make my debut was just unreal. To make my debut for Millwall Football Club, I've always wanted to do that, and I've done it.
Yeah.
But like saying it, like people might say it might be the Gary's goal, you know, like.
Yeah, Alexander.
Yeah,
you know. Yeah,
I know.
And I would
say,
that,
guys, in the chat, guys. Before we wrap up, guys, in the chat, what was the best ever game? Ronnie's asked the best ever game that you've seen, that you've watched. Disco, anything you want to say before we wrap up? Before Saturday's game?
Oh, sorry, I thought you was going to say my best ever game. I can't remember who was playing. I can't remember who was playing, but there was this young left back running through, and it parted the defence, and he was going to shoot and score, and he just passed it sideways.
Is that when he passed the Sabia and said he fucked it up? I know that guy. I know that game. Yeah.
Very quick for me. Funny, really. Some strange ones. There was obviously Leeds away. The 4-3 was unbelievable.
Yeah.
Scunthorpe in the playoff semi-final. Chris mentioned that. That was a great game and atmosphere. Bury away was a funny one when Aidan O'Brien scored a last-minute winner. That was fantastic.
Yeah,
away games are normally.
He jumps in
the crowd. I was in there. Yeah, I was in there with him, hugging him. It was fantastic.
Oh, brilliant!
My son was like, "Dad, what are you doing on telly? Jumping up with the play." But somebody's just put it there. The FA Cup semi-final at Old Trafford, because I live up here as well. Just the whole day. Me at Jeff, I was with that Jeff Cook there. We had a great. The game, the day, it was fantastic. That was our cup final, really. So that was superb. Yeah, superb. Right. But we've had some good ones. We've had some good ones.
So we've got semi-final. Charlton away for Sheffield Wednesday for Sunderland Cup semi-final. Swindon playoff final because it was Sun's first Millwall game. Bomber return at Watford.
Yeah,
that
Watford.
One?
Yeah.
Is that when
you know what?
When
I went back there, you know when I went back there the other week.
Yeah,
a lot of fans remember that there. Watford fans were up to where I was sitting, like in that bit.
Yeah,
and they said to me, like, when was the last time you was back here? And I said, well, Bomber scored. And I said, I played the season later. And I said, but everyone went, when you said you tanked us about 4-1, didn't you, or something? He said, he bent that point. Yeah, and I said,
that's right.
Mate, it was one of like just a great, I remember that when you go there, you look straight in that corner where it happened.
That was Denzel, wasn't it? Denzel was playing that day. He went and joined in, didn't he? And lifted him.
Dyche was there, Reedy, and all there. What an amazing moment.
You know, like that, you're standing there. You're like, wow, this is unreal. Like,
can you not just run on? Can you not run on the pitch? Would you like to run on the pitch, Ron, to celebrate with them?
No, last time I ran on a pitch like that, Mark McGee fined me.
Yeah, really?
I was warming up.
Strict.
Yeah, warming up. And it was like that. And I was just standing like a little kid. I thought, I can't have another week's wages gone.
I'm starting to think McGee had it in for you. He had you for everything, didn't
he? Jeff Charles says,
Ronnie, some other stories later.
Ronnie brings up memories. You're talking about the 253 bus along Cambridge Heath Road. I was born down the road from you in Bethnal Green, apparently, Jeff said. There you go. Oh, Carl Brace said, got to be a semi-final. Bomber return at Watford, great shout. Steve Sock ended up in hospital for a week and missed semi-final, still hurts. Clapping for Roberts at Stoke game. Stick up for our boys.
Yeah.
Had a West Ham fan in the opposite bed, which was great. And then Colin said, there you go, promotion at Hull. That's
good
the 1-0
Colin,
1-0 win. Great one.
Went on the train that day, yeah.
Son at Old Trafford took us to the Dreamland, not the Margate shithole. Brilliant. Well, look, I think we're there, guys. I think we're there. So again, thanks again for your time, Bully. Disco, thanks for being on with us as well. Bully,
thank you.
Anything you want to say to the fans before we part ways? Anything you want to say to the Millwall fans that are on here at 10:20 at night, still on here, still in their big numbers? Anything you want to say to before we wrap up and say bye?
Listen, for me, as in what's brought me on all my life, I thank you for what you've done for me from a kid of 15 up to 24. Made me the man I am today. With working with them lads. You know what I mean? With my mates, I would say. And being there for a young man, come away as a young boy, then come away from that club as a man, and it helped me that way. So for myself, thank you. And I will say that. Then, mate, Mill will always go on in my heart, as well as a lot of people, like you guys especially. And it will do it with the boys who have played for that club, because they know what you're expected there and what they've gone away and had fantastic careers as well. But I would always, for myself, I'd love to see Mill in a Premiership. I would absolutely love to see Mill in a Premiership.
One day.
Every year, I just think like that. With not saying it, the fans deserve it. You know what I mean? They deserve a crack at that. You know, there's one club what you can look around and just say they deserve it. I can be a bit biased because I play for the club, but I've seen it from hard times when nearly the doors are shutting, to times where we probably had a chance to get there and we didn't do it for whatever reason. We didn't want to spend a bit of money or whatever. But for my eyes, I'd like to say that. But as I say to you, from you guys, thank you so much for giving me a fantastic time when I was there and memories. And it's
brilliant.
And they will always happen. They always happen because I'm involved in it. You know what I mean? With going to the games and things like that. Yeah, but, no, definitely.
That's lovely words. Lovely words, Bully. Really appreciate it. And again, you know Mill fans better than most, and they always stick by their players. If you play for the badge, especially if you're a youth player, if you're one of our own, as you were coming through the youth academy, Mill fans will love you for life. So again, thanks so much for giving up your time, Bully, tonight. I really do appreciate that. We'll see you back next time with Denzel, hopefully. For the next live, that'll be something, won't it? You know, we'll definitely do that. But again, thank you so much. Thank you so much for all you guys in the chat. Again, really appreciate you being with us tonight. Thank you so much for coming in your large numbers. Really do appreciate it. And we'll see you in the next live soon. Thanks very much, guys. Bye for now. See you later.
Hi, it's Steve Morrison here, and you're listening to Chat with Chaps, chatting Millwall, come rain or shine.